welcome to, I almost said metagaming, welcome to the Wandering Isles. My name is Ken, I will be your DM for this evening. I'm joined with these lovely gentlemen here. We are missing Keen today. We miss you, buddy. We see him in chat there lurking away. He will be back to us hopefully next week. Well, I miss Keen, I'm sorry, I see some disagreement there, but I miss Keen. Thank you for joining us, everybody. I see you guys defeated the boss. Hell yeah, well done. For those of you watching on YouTube, we have a boss battle at the beginning of every session. Please feel free to join us. We're gonna jump in. I believe it's Ryan doing our recap today, if I remember correctly. Please tell me okay, I recall. Wow, I don't like that smile. Take it away, boss.
I had 10 minutes to do this, so it's not great. Okay. There once was an owling called Boreal who did something rather horrible. With no questions of size or the amount of lives, he let off a series of fireballs. The trial of the year to be had, and Grimstone was sure to be glad, because the likeness was there was no arguing the cause, and Thaddeus would gain an owl's head. But with grit and with guile, the twist in the trial was the party was not letting him win, because regardless the damage of the Owlin's blast rampage, they said fuck you Thaddeus with a grin. The results they did come for the future of one, and the school which was possible to close. But with the arguments aplenty and the judges of gentry, the outcome was the best thing to be chose. Boreal was in jail with his 4 walls and a pail, and Hatsu got off with anger management. With the result not to his core, Thaddeus tore up the floor as he headed right out of the encampment.
How the hell did you rhyme with management? Sorry, go ahead.
I know, right? It fucking took me a while.
I was like, where's it go with this?
So we start off this day with Dash while Kian's away, so I wonder how that's going to work. It won't matter for long as they lead off the wrong and Hatsu just starts going berserk. That's
crazy.
It.
Bravo.
Also, I have to say, I mean to cut you off. I thought I was on mute. I'm so sorry that I just started talking over you. My apologies.
That's all right. No,
I was like, how
good.
the hell did he rhyme with management? I just said that out loud. I'm so sorry. That is crazy. Well done. Jesus, well done. If you don't have inspiration, take it. And from now on, those of you who are doing the recap, remind me. You will get inspo for the good work you're putting into your recaps.
Oh, can I do it every week?
That on that note, everybody except Dash can do it because he's not here today. So you all get your inspiration as back penance for the awesome work you guys have been putting in. I've actually meant to do that, and I think about it usually on Thursday when I'm editing the videos. I'm like, I should have given them inspiration for that. That was really good. And then next week I'm like, that was cool, and I just like just gone. So with that, my friends, we find ourselves doing some kind of nice dance to this music. We find ourselves in the school the next day. Things have gone somewhat back to normal, but classes will not redeem for the rest of the week. It is your Tuesday, so to speak, because I've forgotten the days of the week. Yeah, so let's... Oh, I was meant to run the intro video. You are absolutely correct. I'm so sorry. Thank you, chat. I'll put it on YouTube clip. You're good. Thank you, chat. Sorry. Yeah, let's jump in. So on that really threw me actually, sorry. So we're on the next morning. You guys are waking up. What are we doing, boys?
Well, I think the way we ended it was he was going towards Remington's office, right? Because I was trying to take
you're
the
absolutely right.
tunnels
You're absolutely
to get there.
You're absolutely right. Perfect. I was hoping to have like an easy beginning, but here we go. Let's go to the difficult one first.
I want that juicy lore.
I know you do. So, Amadriana, as you sit in the wall, you hear some talking in the hallway that is taking place. It appears that Dash is in some way speaking to this guy, but you can't pick up on what he's saying, unfortunately. But for those who are interested, remind me next week and we can play that out when Keen is back. Because he sent me a message on what he wants to do, but I think it'll be better with him in chat, like in the game, not in chat. But shortly after that point, Remington enters his office with Thaddeus. And Remington says, so tell me, Thaddeus, did that go as expected? And he, you can't see through the wall, so you can hear there's like a rummaging or ruffling sound, and he's like, thankfully, these pro bono cases don't go against my immaculate record. I don't know how you keep doing this, but I know that this school will not keep getting away with this forever. This is not something that can carry on through today's society. Both you and this school are a relic of things gone, and I will do my best to make sure it stays that way. Yes, well, you see, the thing about relics is they are relics for a reason. They last, they survive through the ages and through history, as this school will continue to do. Now, I have held up my end of the bargain with Crisis Response Unit, and I have called you in during this time, and I have even given you sway in the vote, which you should never have had to begin with, but the strings that were pulled, I could not pull back against. With that in mind, I would kindly ask you to get the fuck off of my island. Thaddeus closes his briefcase and he says, well, it might be your island now, but bigger eyes than yours are watching. Let's see how things continue for you. Won't take many more crises before we have to respond. And with that, you can hear that he turns on his heel and leaves the office, and Remington sits back in his chair and he just lets out a big exhale and a sigh. This has been a tiring week and another tiring event for Remington that burns at his energy. With that in mind, what would you like to do, Madrina?
I'm going to listen for a minute longer, a couple of minutes longer. See if he kind of, whether he's the type to talk to himself over matters, whether he sends any messages, anything like that.
No, there's a long pause and then there's another sigh as he stands up, and you can hear the clinking of a tray, and it sounds like he's making himself probably some tea. It would be similar to the sounds you would have heard from Eos. He's pretty much just trying to calm himself down. You get the vibe that if you were in his place with this conversation, with everything that just went down, with the fact that his hands were very much tied in this situation, you probably can hear his blood in his ears. His head is probably throbbing. He's angry. He's pissed. And granted, you only know him for a limited amount of time, but you would get the impression already based on people you've met that are like him in the past. It takes a lot to piss him off. So with that in mind, yeah, like he's unwinding, so he's not necessarily talking, but you can tell that this is the moment that, like, finally the storm has broke and everything is relaxing and calming again, and he's trying to find his peace with that as well.
Right. She thinks about going in, talking to him, and then just kind of realizes, you know, there's better times and places to do things, and this probably isn't the right one. So she's going to head back through the tunnels and stuff. There is going to be a couple of places she stops though. One is going to be like if she can find one of the walls that go through to where the auditorium is, like where the main people are, and see if she can hear any little tidbits, any little, you know, things from teachers, from students, any little knowledge, that kind of way. And then she also wants to check out
the food hall, you mean?
Yeah, so where everyone would be gathered after the trial and stuff would have happened. Then the other place she actually wants to go is to Alyssa's room.
Alyssa? Yeah, okay. I had actually some questions, so I will confirm, especially for the podcast listeners, that Lyssa is Lysa, but Alyssa is her full name, so you're not wrong. But Lysa, because it was asked to me a couple times in Discord and stuff. Lyssa is, so her room on the second floor, she's above you guys. You guys, the first students, first floor, she's got her own space in the second floor. But she had a different back door in, right? She had yeah, so her setup was a bit different, but you go to her room and it is definitely empty. it is definitely not set up, and it looks very akin to your room when you first got there, and nothing had changed to suit the requirements of the rest of you.
Can I check whether there's anything left behind that she may have left thinking Dash might get it?
I don't remember if he left it there or not, but there was a black feather on the floor, and he did see it, I believe, if I recall correctly, unless I completely dreamt that. But I believe there's a black feather in the middle of the floor, yeah, because he had checked for that as well.
So there's nothing else maybe hidden, like a sneaky rogue would do?
No, nothing like that. Like, even if you actively check for hours, you won't find anything, but there is probably something telling in that if the Madriana puts her head to it.
Right, gotcha. Okay. And then just to see if I find out any info.
Keane's sitting in chat, and he just told me he took the feather, so it's not there either. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Of course he did. Filthy boy.
Just walks back to the hall like, just smelling the feather. Like, sorry, go ahead.
He's just got it put into his beard so he can smell it the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go down and, like I said, see if I can hear any tidbits, and then I'll head back to the room.
Great. Yeah. Okay. So, I'm gonna get you to make an active, passive, and an active investigation check. There's two things I'm gonna give you from this based on your results.
Investigation, right? Yeah.
Investigation and perception, both. So just one of each. Standard roll.
Okay. So my investigation is a 16.
Mm-hmm.
My perception is a terrible 9.
Gotcha. Thank you. So investigation for 16. Not everybody is in the hall that you would expect. A lot of people seem to have gone back to their dorms or whatever, so there isn't that many people. Out of the people that are here, there's very little faculty, but quite a few sort of students, more the 4th and 5th years, who are kind of breaking down this hearing and procedure. And they talk about how, like, of course, Thaddeus is here, and of course he's trying to do this shit again. He's been after this place forever. Now he finally got his claws into it. He's finally made his way to the island. That kind of thing. They're breaking it down like this piece of shit has been trying to do this for a long time, and now he's finally here. And they share, based on your role, what you do pick up is just that they share their concerns that that this is just the beginning of this and not the end.
Right.
That more of this shit may happen, and then that's it for the school, kind of thing. Basically, what you overheard Thaddeus saying he wants to do, they are hypothesizing that, like, that he may want to do that. So you just got both sides of that conversation, one from the people who would understand it as a student, and one from the horse's mouth, literally. So, well, not literally, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And head back to my room.
Cool. Yeah. When you head back to the room, then we'll, if it's all right, we'll put a close to that day, and we'll start the next day, the morning. We'll move past the usuals, Hatsu's meditating and focusing and possibly working out, doing these kinds of things, unless there's something different, of course. And like Eos having her bath and her shower, and we'll pop into everybody sort of reconvening, because I have missed listening to you guys have conversations and talk and RP, and I really want to hear it. So so you guys are together. What do you want to do? Go ahead.
I'll come out. The first thing I do is look for Weslin, see that he's not there. Is Chicken around?
Chicken would be with Wes at the moment, yeah.
Okay. Has anyone seen him since the other day? Take
Not
that
me.
as a no. Well,
For our podcast listeners, they all shook their heads. As a reminder, use your voices so that people listening can hear you. Thank you.
Well, I guess someone better go and take him some breakfast. So I'll start wrapping up some meats, cheeses, breads, all that kind of stuff that I get off the tray. I'd assume he'd probably have enough water on him, but yeah, I'll pack all that up and I'll start heading down into the woods.
I'll take one of my last remaining beers from the stash and give it to you and go with you.
Right. Yeah.
Eos will deconstruct the couch and prepare to wash the covers to remove the bloodstains.
Oh, okay. You guys are cleaning up. It's no longer a frat party house. Hell yeah.
Exactly. Now that Dash is away, I've room to do things.
I think
So
Hatsu's
much room
gonna
for
see Boreal in his, let's say, room.
Yeah, room with quotation marks is definitely the play.
With Swedish curtains.
Oh wow.
Oh my god. Yeah, so he isn't in the prison as such. He's not behind bars. He's in a room. He has his own space. It is cozy. Yeah, like that's a really good example, but like a Scandinavian prison, like if you've ever seen them, they're a lot more comfortable and cozy and kind of, people still serve their time, but they don't have to be miserable while doing it, right? And so that is very much the vibe here. It's not that he is allowed to necessarily just go wander the halls and do stuff, not after grand attempted murder, but he is confined to a space that is his, and he doesn't look necessarily unhappy to be there, although he's not thrilled either. It's like a middle ground. It could be way worse for him, way worse.
How did they treat you, brother?
Well, I don't have these anymore, and he holds up his wrists, showing that he's not wearing the shackles anymore. I'm sad.
You know that this is the best outcome we could have prayed for, right?
Last night, Remington spent 3 hours sitting here and talking to me and making sure that I'm okay, and asking what I may need and trying to provide anything that he could to make things easier. I think that given who came at us, that Grimstone guy, I feel very lucky to still be even in this building. That could have been way worse.
Not only was it an attempt to get more influence in these realms, these parties also try to get more influence about parties like our family. We have to be very careful. I'm gonna report to Father what happened, and I will tell him that you're okay.
Do you think he's going to be mad?
Oh, you know him. He will be mad. But I'm not gonna lie. I might suggest him to send a letter of thanks to the crisis response unit in order to distance from you a little bit, if you understand.
Do you think if we tell Mother, she'll send those biscuits that she makes? It's not the same when it's from a magic plate.
I know what you mean. I will ask her.
He sits down on his robe and it like tugs back a little bit and he just has to adjust himself. There's a little bit of that clumsy nature still there, even though he's trying to be more serious and composed.
I will send Ayame from time to time to check if you need something. And if you feel a sensation or if you hear that voice again, please tell it, Remington. Tell me about it so we can figure it out.
I couldn't sleep last night, and that fox that follows your friend around came in. He was really nice. He sat with me and he kept me company for a while. When I fell asleep, he left.
Treat him good. He's a good spirit, if you know what I mean.
Reminds me of the stories that we were told when we were children.
That pretty much is. Do you need anything else?
No, I'm just thankful I'm not the one who has to tell Dad.
That's gonna be my fight, brother. As always.
He doesn't laugh, that's just me. It's really funny. Yeah. But I'll do what I can, and we'll get to the bottom of this. And then maybe they'll let me skip a year, or maybe they'll let me study quietly in here and just take exams anyway, or Good behavior?
Hatsu kind of postures up, takes a deep breath, and he looks him like that straight in the eyes, and he says, "Do you think the might you wielding lets you take any shortcuts? There is no shortcuts. You have to know it inside and out. It's way too dangerous to take shortcuts."
Hatsu, you're always honest with me. Am I cursed?
I could ask you the same question. We don't know. If we're lucky, we can take a glimpse and understand. Like, I told you about the time when I was in the jungle, right? Do you remember what I told you about that cave?
I do.
I thought for a long time that I'm cursed. But if you find the courage to discover every bit of yourself and everything that is within you, you might find your answers. And you have a lot of people that can help you with that, that are capable of helping you with that. Unfortunately, I can't, nor any of our family members can. So this is the best place for you to find out.
I'm sad for what happened. I didn't want to hurt anybody or mean to. But I'm more scared that if I leave this place even in a year, what if 5 years from now that happens at home? And it's our family, and they're not lucky enough to have people to save them and to help them.
Oriel, do you remember the first times we were on watch when we did find people that tried to harm us? How many of us young, trained soldiers were in a blood rush to finally experience what it really means to do what we are doing? Have we stayed the same? No. We learned from that. We learned to harness that power, to control that power, and to understand the difference between justice and cruelty. You will find your way, I'm sure about that. And if the time comes and something like that would happen, I will give everything to prevent you from harming someone.
If it comes to me or them, it should always be me. Because I would never raise my hand against somebody, not unless they deserved it. So if I'm raising my hand against the innocent, it means that it's not me. There should be no sorrow in that.
You are not your body, Boreal. Your body is a vehicle for this plane. Remember that. And sometimes somebody else sneaks into your vehicle as well. But you have to figure it out yourself. I can only say, be aware of who's using your vehicle.
For what it's worth, Hatsu, I didn't have much control in the situation and I didn't know what was happening, but I did hear your prayers. And I did hear you call to me. So thank you for trying. And for
He puts his right hand on his left shoulder while he's talking, and he kind of interrupts him.
Mhm.
And he says, I was there, I am here, and I will always be on your side, no matter what.
It's kind of hard to tell because he's got those like big owl eyes, but they do get like kind of emotional. He gets, yeah, he's like, he's huffing his head around, spins his whole neck 360. Yeah, no, he is emotional, but it's been an overwhelmingly emotional time. He went to the hospital, got out of the hospital, suddenly reacted like that, and now he's in prison. So he's made like a round trip in a big bad way. But he hears you and he feels you and he cares, and he definitely understands that you care. Yeah.
Before he leaves, he kind of goes towards the door, but before he actually leaves, he kind of turns around and says, do you actually remember when you were put aside? I mean, your spirit.
It just felt very cold and dark and quick, like going to sleep and waking up. Like there's an understanding that something was there, but it's blurry. Sometimes it's easier to remember than others, but yeah.
Did you smell anything?
It's so hard not to shout what the rock was cooking.
I was going to say roasting people, but
Roasting people. Yeah. Smelled like chicken. I don't think he did. He just remembers wanting to go home.
Was it a male voice or a female voice?
I just heard you praying.
So you didn't hear what you said or what your vehicle said?
No, but I know what it was. I've had dreams. I've seen it.
What was it?
Yep, that's a good question. The DM is looking up his notes. Doodle-doo. A drop of ichor, a pinch of blood, and my blessings do, and with my blessings do what you never could.
See, what I don't understand. Last time when we had that incident, you said the same words, but you used it to defend yourself. Do you remember anything that might have triggered defense mode?
Well, we did just get attacked a few days before, but that seems like a late response. Was anyone who got hurt maybe one of the attackers?
No. I already did send their heads to Father.
That's a pretty Hatsu response.
I just followed the protocol. So there wasn't anything you could remember that might have scared you?
Not right now, but I will meditate on it. And think. And try and remember this day. Right now it's all a blur and I'm very, very tired, so maybe with time.
Get some rest. I will send somebody with a package from Mom.
It's just like, yes!
Now I kind of want to have them myself and just put a post-it in the box like, gotcha.
That's what you get for murdering people, or trying to. Yeah. Yeah, no, he lays back on his little kind of cot thing.
So I would like, I would suggest move on, but just for the notes, Hatsu would go to Remington after. But
Okay.
I'll
You can
just
do a round.
put that after the other stuff, yeah.
Remington, actually, he wouldn't even be there at the moment because he's out talking to people, so it would take time to find him, so that logically makes sense as well. But he will come to you guys eventually as well. So, okay, so one of the rest of you, what are you guys doing? I think, Matriana, you were bringing food to Westland with Slate, is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Heading down into the woods. If you go down in the woods today.
Are you there, Westland, yeah? In the woods?
I mean, he'll be spending his evenings and like late afternoons in the woods. all troubles that seem to be plaguing the school, all bloodshed and death has happened at night. The complete opposite of what they said the woods would be like. And so, probably sometime in the late morning, he'd be preparing to go back towards the school. This got really loud all of a sudden. Hold on one second. Sorry. Wow, that was really loud. Sorry.
Go ahead, it's okay.
Well, we'll obviously get there before he leaves then, I guess. Because we'd have been heading off probably early morning.
Or at least meet on the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say that there's a sort of convergence of you all. Right time, right place kind of thing.
You hungry, Wesley? I say that in his tongue.
The grove provides all I need. What are you doing here?
Looking for you.
You have found me.
Are you to participate with us at all?
It's what I'm on my way to do. Yet to understand what the stream is about. But I can tell you that I think I found where we sent all the witches when we put them to sea. They'll never believe me when I get home, but maybe it's some sort of, like, maybe it's an allegory or something, you know, like one of those fables that the old people tell. Don't put a witch out to sea. They're gonna congregate on an island. That's what they're gonna say. That's like that's the whole meaning of the fable, right?
I'm translating this for Slate as well in case he doesn't understand. Well, I mean, there is other parts of this world other than this island of witches. We're not all witches here. I mean,
That has yet to be seen.
look at you. You're I guess you would say a warlock, maybe?
A what?
A male witch, a warlock, no?
No, I'm not a witch.
I've no idea what you're saying, and I'm obviously behind because you have to keep repeating it, but I'm just stuck on the part where you said, you know, the grove or whatever provides everything, and I held up a beer. Like, everything? You gotta take me there.
Well, I mean, not everything. I would take time. Obviously, I don't have the. I mean, if you don't mind, I'd be down for a. Like, come sit down by the lake, and we'll have a beer. And it takes time to ferment things.
I assume because you're talking directly to me, you're therefore speaking, so I understand it. I'm going to assume.
Oh, sorry. Let me translate that into common. In this time now, there is no way to make beer. Come, let us sit by the lake and drink that beer.
Yes. Let's go to the lake. And what makes you think you're not a witch?
Because I'm not.
And yet you do witchy things?
Do witchy things.
Well, by all accounts, you disappeared from one space and reappeared in another. That's not something a normal person can do.
This is a dream. Many weird things happen in dreams.
You mean like witches that aren't actually witches?
I have seen a lot of things in many dreams. This one is by far the strangest. Not the bloodiest, though, but the strangest, I will say.
And how do you usually get out of these dreams?
The sun rises, and then there's a new one. Winter comes, and there's a new one. I walk through a door, and there's a new one. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
So what's to say that this one time you're not dreaming? What if this is the time you woke up?
That I don't think is entirely possible. Because none of this is correct.
What should be correct?
Points at his face. Throws out his arms. Winter is coming. I am an old man.
But if you've been asleep for so long and then suddenly wake up, would you not just age as you went along and not realize? Maybe you have finally woke up and this is your actual form.
A man has to eat and they have to drink. They have to be awake to live.
There's many ways to feed and get sustenance to a person with them not being awake.
How do you propose that have been done?
I know of certain potions and stuff that can be administered after you're unconscious that do things. I mean, take Boreal and what he did. I was unconscious, I was administered a potion, I managed to take in its sustenance and revive.
I don't think that's quite the same. I think it's quite the same. Those who were in long sleep in the village were the ones who were close to death.
Maybe you are.
I'm going to start ritual casting comprehend languages because this is pissing me off and I have no idea what's happening and there's just such a long delay and I can't say anything because they're so far ahead every time he tries to relay it to me. I've missed so much and I know I'm not getting the full story, so I'm just mumbling to myself, kicking the dirt as I'm walking along beside them.
That's nice to have you finally part of the conversation, Slate.
Oh my god, that was torturous. This is bullshit. Holy crap.
Now you might understand.
So, he's a witch in your eyes,
Yes,
but you're not a witch, even though you can do things.
this is a dream.
So that means you've made him a witch. So that's
Maybe.
your fault.
Are
Possible.
all witches bad? Always?
Yes.
So you've made yourself bad in this dream.
The dream made me bad. You can't help what happens in a dream. You can't control it.
Yes.
You simply exist in it. Can
But-
you?
Surely like seasons or the time of the year, you know, you've got winter, summer, light, dark. Surely there's an opposite to a bad witch, presumably. Maybe you haven't met them, but presumably it exists.
There are
Just
only
'cause you don't
those
see it doesn't mean it's not there.
who resist those who are at their worst. But everyone is a bomb. Well, that's not right. Everyone is a threat at some point.
Isn't that true of non-witches also? They have the ability to be a threat at any time, should they choose?
Yes, but those people cannot explode others with their mind.
Yes, they can. Have you never heard of an artificer? You saw the mechanical means of which he got around in his ship That's made of metal. It's made of construction.
Yes, there's something living in there. That thing is alive and it is tortured. Just covered in metal. Some giant turtle thing, I think. Clearly the work of a witch. But all of this talk of witches and defending them, it doesn't matter. When this dream is over, our paths will not cross again. It will be likely a dream of tulips and sheep eating too many of them or something. Enjoy a beer. Not think of these things.
Oh, finally, something worthwhile. Opens beer, starts drinking it.
So, just to be sure, your plan is to spend your days here in the woods?
My evenings, yes. I still have things that I need to figure out. And those answers, unfortunately, are inside that building.
Can we help you find those answers in the building, whether you're there or not?
I think you can. I think you and I are very similar. We are seeking answers to shapes that don't make sense.
I get that.
I'm going to scrape a few replicas of what I saw drawn on the paper in the ground. What does these mean?
Where did you get those or see those?
In this dream.
Well, if you saw them in your dream, then you tell me what they mean.
Part of the dream is understanding the dream, and I have not been able to understand this one.
Oh, well, then we just wait until you do. That makes sense. It's your dream.
Okay, so you do not know.
I don't know what you learned in your dream or didn't learn.
This is as far as I've gotten. I thought there might be some kind of parallel, some sort of connection between them.
I mean, it definitely looks familiar. I just can't place it myself.
Do the markings make any sense to me, Roper?
I think you would have to ask Richard rather than me in this case. They're his markings, and it's something more personal to him than it would be to me. So I would defer to Richard on this one. Yeah.
How I explained it before, because they're clearly drawn on the ground or whatever. How I explained it before is it looks like frantic scribblings or just marks all over the place. There's not a huge amount of coherency. It's almost like if you see a child who's like a toddler learning to draw, it's just a mismatch of stuff. So there's no discernible shape, sign, rune, language, anything like that. It's just a hodgepodge of tons of marks, dashes, you know what I mean, whatever.
Dashes, interesting.
Mm.
Lots of pictures of dash. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I know what you're saying to me, and I accept it. However, I've seen toddlers' drawings, and there's always meaning behind it. It's just about working out what it is. So, although she can't work it out right now, she still thinks there's more to this than she can get to the bottom of right now.
Wesel, I know what you're saying about, you know, feeling a connection between us. I definitely think I see that as well, even in myself. It's like a jigsaw missing pieces, and I see it with you, feeling empty, broken. Like a small boat adrift in a storm, or maybe for you, like a leaf caught in a hurricane. Never settling, always moving. Never where it's supposed to be. So it's nice to feel like I'm in the eye of the hurricane when we're together having a beer sometimes, even if it's just for a moment. So I always appreciate that.
Hopefully we will figure it out before there is not any more time left.
I'm just going to say, you know, obviously if we're approaching this markings, puzzle, dream, whatever it is, we're coming at it from different viewpoints, but also probably the same place every time. What if I take out all the remaining beers, we drink all of these and come at it from a different perspective?
If you're going along that route, I'm sure Wesley would be able to find some suitable mind-adjusting items within the forest.
There have been many
Else to do.
dreams of such activities. There is nothing to say that that is not a bad idea now.
Let's be honest, it couldn't make you any worse.
No, it could not. And I am running out of time.
Well,
So why not?
if you want to find such items and you two partake, I would be happy to guard, watch, make notes.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds a little strange. We're gonna get fucked up and you're gonna watch and take notes?
Well, if you start revealing stuff that you might want to know afterwards, someone needs to be able to tell you it back, right?
Oh, don't
Starts to
worry
look
about
inside his clothes. I don't know how revealing I want to be. I don't know that I want to hear about it
Trust
later.
me, I've seen everything you've got so far.
that. Don't
You
worry
can
about
my
it.
room when I'm sleeping.
I think you've pretty much shown the school everything you've got right now. So, are we going to do this?
Starts handing the beers around.
If you are to be part of this rite, you shall be part of the rite. This is not one for observers.
You're saying you wish for me to partake as well?
I said no such thing. I said, if you wish to be part of this rite, then you should be part of the rite, not an observer.
And also, today is a good day because we had the court case, all of that shit. That's all done. I mean, there's a lot to celebrate, so, I don't know, think of any reason you want, and as long as you're happy with the reason, let's get fucked up.
Oh, trust me, I have no issue with getting fucked up, but how are we going to record what happens?
Trees will know. The birds
Okay.
will see. There are plenty of eyes in this forest.
Well, fuck it. You go and find what we need. I'll have a couple of these beers while you're getting it, and then... Sure, why not? Let's get fucked up in the forest.
Okay. Eisen will slowly stand, wincing a little bit like an old man. Crack some of his joints, and takes a deep breath and moves to the forest to begin foraging to see what's out there.
Let's go with the nature check.
Nature check. And this is when you find the poisonous stuff, and that's how everyone dies. Yeah.
red thorns.
Mhm.
This would be so much easier if I went to colorblind.
Great reference.
It's a nature check,
Reference,
correct?
17.
17.
Are we getting fucked up?
Okay, so yeah, you find some of the good shit, like the good shit. You have no issues finding some like edible berries, some edible plants that can go in either direction for you. I don't mind. Like that can be the fun kind edible or the regular kind edible. Either way is fine. But you Yeah. You find some, like, you basically find whatever you need. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thought had not yet occurred to him to try going to a dream within the dream. So let's try that. Let's try that. Let's see what that does.
It's when we go into another dream and time dilates again. That's when it starts getting interesting.
Well, that's when we go Inception style,
Yeah, exactly.
We have to go deeper.
Just don't go too deep.
Yeah, that's true. Don't go too deep. It's weird. You lose yourself there, Yeah, and we'll do any preparations that are necessary for such things and distribute them as necessary. And
It's still early morning-ish, like, at that point, because Hatsu just went to Boreal and it's still the day. Are you involving the missing members at this point for this, or is this just a Madrana Westland slate? I'm not trying to compel you either way. I'm just checking for.
Wesleyan is I think fairly indifferent as to who gets involved in this, as this is some sort of weird other bit of trial, other bit of science. See what this does. Tries to figure all of this out. Should the others suggest that the rest come and partake of the bounty of the forest, he will not object.
Okay. Well, they would have to be notified, so that's why I'm asking if the group is doing such things.
It's not like we've got stones that we can talk to each other with.
I know, right? What happened to those?
You threw them out a window, and buried them and sent them away. Because you did not trust your DM for some reason.
I'm going to say there's two things that I'd point out as all this was happening. As we're finding all the different food and you're making your preparations, I am definitely taking note of what you're picking and looking at or whatever, but I'm also suggesting to you that we're going to want both types because we're going to be hungry later if we're getting fucked up. That's just from experience. So we want both types.
Oh,
and then when the conversation is about, if it comes up about involving anybody else, I'm going to say this is just another delay to getting fucked up. The vibe check's being had. It's good. If you want to go or someone wants to go, be my guest. I'm not going anywhere.
No worries. What I'll do then is I'm going to let you guys get prepared while I let Hatsu look for Maleficum. But I'm going to go to Eos and transition across. So first of all, tell me what you are doing.
Yeah, so the plan here is she's going to take apart the couch, take the covers off the cushions and things. She's going to prepare a large basin. And she's going to heat it up with her hands. She's going to let that simmer for some time to clean it out. She's going to respect everyone else's room. She's going to leave them alone. The only room she will open the door for is her own. She's going to open up her big bay window, let the air through. This is followed by a lot of cleaning. She's going to be very thorough and meticulous about everything. Any surface, anything that she believes has been touched or interacted with, she's going to thoroughly clean out.
Yeah.
And what she's going to clean out with is a mixture of soap from the kitchen. It's going to be a bit of chamomile tea in it, peppermint tea as well, and some honey. She's going to clean everything, make it all smell good, look good, feel good to her.
And then
That's
4
the thing.
gallons of like peroxide and like bleach.
Close the
and-
doors.
Yeah. You're getting your own fucking party going on in that apartment. Yeah.
No, she wants to air out everything. If there's
Gotcha.
a skylight or whatever in the main
Just
room.
kick Dash's room open his windows. Got it. Yeah.
Oh no, she's specifically not going near anyone's room. She has no interest in people's privacy. So. Yeah, that's what she's going to do there. That's going to take a while. After that is done, she's going to head on out to the stables and she's going to ask if there is anyone in stables. She wants to set up a small agility course in the forest for ducking.
Oh, cool. Okay. They're high as hell and they're like, is she riding a horse? She's just like doing this agility course. No, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. As you're out in the stables, someone approaches you. Sorry, are you Eos?
Yes. Hello.
Ah, I have a letter for you. Here you are. And then he hands it to you, and off he goes. And it's in your inventory, and you can read it later. But it's already there.
Thank you.
But when you're reading it, I'll go to someone else. But I'll give you time because it's a bit of a long one.
Okay.
He apparently read the whole thing.
Who opened this?
Wait a minute. There are cookies with this. Bye. Yeah, so a little courier finds you as they do in Skyrim. They just show up. You're like in the middle of a fight with a dragon, and a courier's like, I have a letter for you. You're like, stop it!
Telegram.
Stop it! We're both gonna die.
Back to the Future. They just find you. Like,
They just find you.
years
Yeah,
later.
it's mental. Like, yeah, but you set up your agility course. You pop your letter into your backpack, and you just set up your agility course, and you like you just you take Ducky out for a good jaunt.
A run. Yeah.
I get some fucking exercise. Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you enjoy the vibes and the energy, and you go out and you live the horse life. Your horse girl. You get that vibe going. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not sure if there's too much to really add there. I don't need to do any checks with you or anything. It's just a nice, calm, easy time. You're more than familiar with Ducky. Like, I'm not going to make you do... Like, if we were doing something, like, crazy arduous, like you're dragging 3 people behind you and doing flips off the horse and stuff,
That's
maybe I
next
would
week.
get a check. Yeah, but that's next week, yeah. When you get Dash and get some revenge. But yeah, no, it's... for now, I think it's pretty much straightforward. You just have a good time. There's no rolls needed. You enjoy yourself.
It's a day off.
It's a day off, yeah. It's been a long couple days, so it's nice to get a bit of a enjoy your super long weekend because it's only Tuesday. But yeah, it's a nice easy time. Is there anything else you want to do in that time?
Yeah, just a bit of downtime when she's giving Ducky a break. She's going to quickly walk over to stables. She's going to take out that whip. She's going to try and start using it.
On Ducky?
No.
Oh
No, on Dash.
Oh,
On
Dash.
Dash.
Got it. Okay. Oh, it's that kind of
Just
party.
understanding how reacts, how
You're
it
practicing
feels.
as it with a weapon.
Yeah.
Okay. You can make a roll with it if you have in your inventory there. I'm not sure if you do.
Don't think so. No. There was one back in the stables a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I'll get it for you. It's okay,
Good.
but for the moment it's okay. So
Yep.
yeah, you take some swings at a can or something, a tin can, and just beans spray everywhere. And you're back to cleaning for like an hour. Yeah, you get some practice in with it. I'll if you send me a reminder on Discord, I'll put one on your
Don't worry
sheet
about it.
for you then.
Yep.
At a time when I can pay attention for two seconds.
That's good.
Yeah, so you have your time whipping stuff. Hatsu, I'll come back to you and then we'll go to the party animals.
I'll sit down, read my letter, and
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sit down,
We'll
read
see.
your letter and stuff. Yeah, no. I don't remember how to open it without you sharing it to chat, but
I know.
try and figure that out. I think it's the 3 dots on Foundry. And then edit should show you.
Aha. Oh.
Oh,
Dash is dead. What?
Dash is dead, yeah. He drowned trying to get attention on the beach. Hatsu, I will come to you, my friend. So how are you getting on? You're trying to find Remington. Is there anything else you're doing?
I would also look out for Amy, particularly.
She would be.
If she's sneaking around there, or
Yeah,
because I told her to be in the outskirts of the school, right, to get intel. So I would assume she would have stayed for the trial.
I thought you
Because
meant
I haven't seen
Madriana.
her since
The
then.
other Amy.
Yeah, I get what you're talking about. now.
Ayame, sorry.
Ayame. Yeah. I thought you were talking about a Madriana. Ayame, yeah, she is. Yeah, she's around. It's easy to get her attention. Yeah.
So who
yeah,
would
sure.
I meet first?
Oh,
Ayame
definitely
or-
Ayame. Definitely Ayame. Yeah.
Okay. He just looks at her and he says, "Well, what do you think?"
That could have gone worse.
I think Remington did us a great favor of how it went. And I guess anything else would have been a harder task for Saiga no Toshi.
I think your dad's gonna be pissed.
Always pissed. You know our dads.
Grumpy old man.
Don't get me wrong, I don't like these politics either, but we have to get ready to know how these games are played. If you know what I'm saying. There will be a time when these grumpy old men can't handle that anymore, I guess.
And then you'll be the grumpy old man.
Oh, and you will be the grumpy old woman.
I'll never get old.
Are you a witch?
Not yet. Does Boreal seem to be doing okay?
It's good. He was asking for some food of our mom, so I guess he's better.
Yeah. I'll keep an eye on him too. With your permission, while he is still on the island, probably for the rest of the day, may I follow Grimstone? There's just something not quite right about him.
You have my permission, but you have to be very, very, very careful. Because if he will recognize you, it will be a whole nother shit show that I have to tell my father.
She pulls up her mask and she puts her hood up. He won't even know I'm there.
I am a. But don't forget your main mission. This is still of the highest importance.
Absolutely. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon. I will check on Boreal a little later.
He bows down like a little bit. And he says, "May your bee guide you."
She nods and she bows a little bit, and just like that, she's gone into the crowd, into the door, and gone.
So he would look out for Remington then, after that.
Yeah. With that, you go to Remington. He is wandering the halls looking for people, talking to people, so it's not super hard to find him, but it is something that, yeah, like it takes a couple minutes, but you do find him, yeah. Yeah. Remington, it's easy to see, he looks worn, tired. It's just going on and on for him. He's got also a lot of feedback today and a lot of information, and he's having system overload. But he sees you and he grins a little bit and he smiles. He's like, Hatsu, how are you?
He bows down like a little bit, not super down, but more than he usually would. And he says, Domo arigato gozaimashita, sensei. I know these are rough times for you. And me and my family, we pretty much appreciate what you did for us. I just wanted to inform you that I have to report to my father. And I will advise him to send letters out to the crisis response unit as well as a form of appreciation that they would have come to stop my brother from doing these things. I know it's difficult times, and I know it's hard to balance all of that, so in the name of my family, I want to apologize.
Well, I also would like to apologize. This was almost a very serious thing for you and your brother, and I'm sorry it came to this. With that in mind, I would advise that your father stays away from the crisis response unit. He doesn't want their watchful eye on him, and if they get one hook into him, it's a very long, arduous thing. But I understand that your motivation, they are correct.
It's not for dragging attention, because we already did drag the attention, as you might have recognized, how he talked about my brother and what kind of action he wanted to install to prevent things like this. So it would be more the advice to make them know that we are aware and make them know what we stand for. I think it's important to make them know you're not alone with this.
Yes. But if they find a way into Saigon Otoshi, I fear that the rest of your people will have a more difficult time, just as we are having now. You do what you think is best. We trust your judgment.
My grandfather once told me something. He said, the good will always attract the good, and the bad will always attract the bad. I think when they really want to get into Saigon Otoshi, they will find allies like the ones that was sent to kill my brother and me anytime. So I understand where you're coming from, but I also think that there's no place to hide anyway. But for us and our allies, it's more important to make our stance visible, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes. You know what's best. Just be mindful of who you approach. In their case, it's more than just a dagger behind their backs. How are you feeling?
I will. I've never been in such a course that you suggested me doing, that I was obligated to do. So I don't know how this will work, but Yeah. I'm good, I guess.
Just stay safe and calm and don't worry too much. These things, they happen, but they are for a reason, and it's not difficult. You just need to talk. Let people in. Understand they are here to help. And it's private and confidential, and it never leaves that room. It's one of the rare places in your life that you'll ever get to be yourself, Hatsu.
But I'm always myself. I
Well-
can't be somebody else.
You will understand what I mean a few weeks in. There are parts of you you have not yet met, Hatsu. Be mindful of that and be open to learning not just about things around you, but to yourself as well.
Oh, I know. She told me.
She sounds wise.
She is. Well, I might leave you and give you time for some rest, Sensei.
Rest is not quite yet, but thank you so much, Hatsu. I will come to you in your group soon, and you can talk to us about your feelings with everything that has transpired here at the school, and we will take careful time to listen and to note. And to...
Before he leaves, he turns like around a little bit, and Remington wouldn't see directly because he's wearing a mask, but he's like smiling a little bit, and he says, "You're so proficient in magic, but you still haven't learned to stop time to get some rest, right?"
Not yet. Someday. Fingers crossed. He smiles and he lets you get on with your day, and as you walk away, he just gets back to, yes, so anyway, you were saying. And he talks to the next student and the next one and the next one. I'll rejoin the party trio as you sit in your woods eating something or other. Talk to me. What's happening?
Doing perfectly legal things here in the Grove.
Oh yeah, sure.
100%. I will prepare these things as best as I can. Dole them out to those gathered here. Look over at Chicken and you will need to keep an eye out for those who come in here who might not be in the same level of dream. Help ease them into it so that they are not caught unaware.
Chicken appears to be listening, but just scratches behind its ear, and then you turn around, and when you turn around again, Chicken has a big chicken, a roast one, just eating away.
No, stealing is bad, Chicken. I'm hoping you're just manifesting those. You are just manifesting those, right? I'll eat the concoction without
Hell yeah.
without any ceremony or anything, just diving straight into it.
Are we talking a healthy concoction, or are we talking a fun concoction? What did you pick?
Oh, we're talking a heroic concoction.
Okay.
You're gonna go into a dream within a dream. You need to You need to dive face first into the places where the lights are, where the light meets the darkness, where the others are at the edge of the veil.
That's probably enough for me to warrant a Constitution saving throw as you eat this.
Fair enough. I will do that. Saving throw.
That one, please.
Yeah,
Can you
right?
imagine?
Roll, there we go. Roll the con. 11.
11. Yeah. Well, you see the lights and you see the people beyond the veil, and you have a damn good time doing it.
Does he say anything? Does he do anything that seems to be
Does he pass the concoction around is what I want to know.
Oh yeah, like it's
yeah.
he's prepared it and
Hell yeah.
and offered it. He's not going to provide a specific dosage or anything to the others. This is for them to determine. He leans back on one of those large boulders in the sunlight, assuming there is sunlight, and just kind of prepares himself for the inbound dream, crossing of that threshold.
Watching this happen and seeing him, lean back, waiting for it to take hold, I decide this is a great time to take out the pan flute and break into his song that he taught us about summer, etc.
sick.
So I'm gonna give that a go.
Yeah, go ahead. Give that a performance check for me.
Having only heard it once, I rolled a 9. So I'm giving it my best rendition first time round after hearing it recently.
Leslie pulls out his pan flute to join you.
Hell yeah.
It's an important song.
Are you diving in?
Now I
Slate?
want to fucking hear it.
Someday we can get that going. We just need
one
to
day.
find someone proficient in the pan flute.
Yep. Yeah. It's like the ocarina, from a certain franchise.
Oh yeah, the
Sounds-
Ocarina of Space, right?
Yeah,
that
it
one.
sounds just like the song of stormy weather.
I can play Jingle Bells on the karimba. That's about it.
Yeah.
So after being asked, am I going to do it? What I'm going to do is get the concoction in whatever receptacle it's in, and I'm going to get the beer and put it on
Westland's
top,
hands.
so the beer flows into the
Oh,
concoction,
wow.
which flows into my mouth. So it's one into the other into my
Oh my
mouth.
god.
So I'm drinking both at the same time.
Fucking
It's
party
like a
animals.
chaser, but at the same time.
Go ahead. Make a con saving throw as well, please. Although I will say that your saving throw is slightly higher than Westland's is because of your concoction apparatus.
Saving throw, not ability check, right?
Saving throw, yeah. This is an effect happening to you.
Please be low.
So you click on your sheet. You click on the actual roll itself, and it asks if you want to act like a saving throw, not ability or saving throw. So on the cog where you have con, you just click con. So top option on your sheet, like the detail section. You should have a section for saving throws. Do you see that on the right?
I do not.
So on the tabs on the right hand side that are sticking out of your sheet, just click the top one on the right.
Yeah.
And then you get saving throws there on the right hand side of your sheet.
Oh, my bad.
There you go.
Apologies.
No worries.
Yep,
We
100%.
have a new sheet system, so it's,
Yeah, new
that's
sheet
a-
system. So I was
figure
looking
that.
just beside that, but not quite there.
All right.
Okay, there we go. Also,
nice.
a 9.
Nice. I think if you get one more 9, you're trying to call the police. Yeah, okay, so you have pretty much a very similar effect to Westland. You maybe a little bit more intense, but the lights grip you, but you've never seen anything like this before. So, as I said, your saving throw being a little bit higher, I'm going to give you a little bit more to... I'll call them negative effects, but they may as well be called status effects. But in this negative effect that you're having, you have like the lights, they're crazy, they're going on, but your head's kind of throbbing a little bit, but like it's overwhelmingly intense. Like we should have Gandalf socks playing in the background the entire time. Like it's definitely like head bobbing, kind of, yeah, you're like shirt off, you're just like vibing in the woods. There's no music. You're just going for it.
While this is happening, I'm going to completely let go because it's been a really tough day, week, all the different things that's been happening. And without thinking about it, I'm going to start using my cantrip of minor illusion to try and manifest different things as I'm falling into it. I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing, so I'm going along with the visions and the different things and going with the vibe and just doing minor illusion to everything that's happening as I go.
Eos,
and fall
you're
into
riding
whatever's
through
happening.
the woods, and something catches your eye far on the right. Just these glowing lights that are like popping up and disappearing in multicolored things, and just like every so often, like a meh, 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 air horn or something.
So he's just doing big fish, little fish cardboard box,
but every
pictures.
single is a different effect from his like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She would leave that alone. It's too loud.
Good
Not her
girl.
vibe.
Good girl. Hell yeah. Oh man, that's funny. Perfect. Yeah, so Madriana, are you partaking in
I'm
the
going to
party?
take the bowl and I'll kind of lift it as if I'm about to, but I'm going to leave it a few minutes. I want to see
If they die.
well, there's that. No, mostly she wants to see if they let out any secrets, anything towards the things that they're trying to find answers to. Because Wesley is in this place of this is a dream, and she's trying to get to the bottom of that for him as much as to understand it herself. And Slate's got these mad fucking designs that he's got whipping out on bits of paper and stuff that hopefully with a little bit of intoxication he, puts them together a little bit cleaner for her to be able to work out or anything like that, basically. You know that whole thing of you can't tell a lie if you're drunk kind of thing.
Yeah. I'll say the further in they go into this, we can probably do some kind of inside-y rolls, I suppose. We'll have to figure it out as we're kind of going based on what's being said or done. But I get your vibe. You're trying to take in what's going on, like the vibe and what their energy is, and like learn and adapt to what they're doing. And they're also putting out information. You want to try and maybe get that.
But again, it is partly for her, but it is also partly to try and help them work out what their issues are.
That might take more than one session.
Yeah, but we got plenty of mushrooms to go around.
While this is going on, and I'm obviously enjoying myself and having a great time, obviously a couple of minutes is going by, her watching us. At any point, do I notice that she still has the bowl and hasn't taken it at any point?
I'm sure you can pick. I don't know if she's hiding that, so yeah, I'm sure you can pick up on that. Unless Ryan, you're specifically hiding that. I don't know.
Then
I'm hiding that I've taken it. I put the bowl up as if I have, but I haven't yet.
Okay, I'll say make a sleight of hand check versus Slate's passive perception.
Ooh, 9.
I think Slate picks up.
Actually, do you know what? I'm going to use my inspiration for that.
Give me 1 sec just to see if that was a success or not, because there might not be any point.
I think minimum's like 11 or something in that.
Yeah, unless he has a negative.
I think 13 is my...
I think your passive is 13,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll say that's a failure, yeah.
Okay, so I can use my inspo and reroll?
Yeah, go ahead.
Crying out loud. 14 though.
I think that's a success. 1 second.
She just like lifts the bowl, pulls it back down, is like, thumbs up kind of thing.
10. What is it? It's 10 wisdom, and then if there's any other modifier.
It's normally 8 plus whiz plus prof if they're proficient in it.
Is it not 10 plus whiz plus prof?
It's usually 8 plus everything.
That's for a save, right? I think. Is it if it's
no for passives?
Well,
Either way, you succeed on the second one. Yeah, as far as I can tell, you can succeed in the second one.
Because where I was going with this, the reason I wanted to know if he had taken it and whether I had noticed is when you're drinking with friends and you're trying to have a good time, and then you see one of your friends is holding back. You know, if they're drinking a bottle and they're just doing like little sips, you know, you try and goad them into it or encourage them or whatever it is. So that's what I was going for, because seeing the hesitancy or the in my mind, she's on catch up, if you know what I mean. So what I wanted to do is to really lazily, because I'm sitting back and letting this take hold and trying to get into it, I want to attempt to do the cantrip Mage Hand to gently try and like get the bowl and like help him. You know, like if someone's drinking and you're like, yeah, like that basically with Mage Hand. So I couldn't be arsed getting up. So I just want to do try and Mage Hand help them to have more. So whether I can see it or not, I'm still doing that. Like have more, like someone having a beer. You can't tell how much they've had, so you're just like gently tipping. I'm not forcing it. I'm not grabbing them. I'm just like gently touching the bottle. That type of idea. That's where I was going with anyway, which is me kind of being like, come on, get into it, let it happen, let's do this.
And after a few seconds, she'll pull the bowl away and she's like, as if she's chomping, kind of thing, playing along.
This is also known as peer pressure to our audience.
100%. 100%.
It's college after all.
Yeah. Stay in school, kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I'll let you decide if you want to give into that or not. Rena.
But like I said, it's tipping and that's fine. And she's like she pulls the bowl away and she's like, as if she's eating.
And like I said, I wasn't trying to force it or, you know, be rough or anything.
Yeah.
It was like that. Someone's drinking a beer. You just touch the bottle really gently. In other words, go on, have more. I'm not making them do anything. I'm just too lazy to walk over and do it. That's all.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, then it has no major effect then if she's pretending.
And then just keeping an eye on these two, at least until I feel like either they're going to give me some information or it's a complete waste of time and they're just buzzed off their tits.
I'll let them answer that rather than me, if that's all right.
So we're obviously having a good time, and like I said, I'm using Mage Hand, Minor Illusion, playing with my loot, just getting into it. I mean, are you asking us anything, doing anything, or just watching that happen?
Well, I made Gianna in front of Slate was on the sand, and she'll do this like acting as if she's kind of a bit, you know, swayy and stuff like that as well. And she's going to draw that symbol that Wesley had drawn in front of you, and see if you react to that and draw anything else. And then to Wesley, she'd just be like, so what's in this dream? What dream are you in now? Just trying to get him to see if he'll talk about what's happening, why he thinks he's in a dream, where he's from.
What I'm going to do for that is, for me, I'll answer after you do, but I'm going to roll a d20, and depending on what it does, I'll do one of two things.
Okay.
So I'll let you do your thing, and then I will come back to what I do.
Okay. So I suppose I would leave it up to John then to decide what he wants to say here.
Every dream has a passageway. Not often looks like this. But it seems like until we go through it, we don't know where we will wind up. But I am so old now. And the summer has passed. Winter is coming quickly, and I am
But it's still a green day.
I'm losing my color. It will be black soon. Spider webs.
But then you just move on to the next dream, right?
Don't know. I've never gotten that far.
I thought you said you'd been in many different dreams.
Many dreams, but none have ever gotten past winter. They've always been in all the seasons, but there has been no new year. There has been no... Perhaps there have been many years. It's difficult to say. It's like time has stood still in this one. Everything moves fast, but we are still here.
So you could have come back to your original place.
No. It was a hole.
What was your original place?
The village. That's where I was. But in this dream,
Who's in the village?
the kin, 50 of us, I think, 53.
Anyone you hold dear?
Aren't there any people that you hold dear at home?
Yes. Person. Not people.
Person. There's only one person where you live?
There's only one person I hold dear.
That's not very fair to your family.
They're not very fair to me.
No. They're not family.
No, they're not. Did you have a partner, a wife, children?
I'm 9, man. Fucking...
I don't know
Wife?
how old you were in your original world.
I'll always be 9. Wake up and I'll have a birthday in, like, the spring. It's always good to have a spring birthday, they always say, 'cause that's when the stars are brightest.
What's your original world called?
What do you mean?
Well, we're here on this island. We know of Palperoth. We know of Verdois. Where are you from, originally? Not this dream. Before you started dreaming.
When I was awake, I lived in the village of Audubon. We are surrounded by the woods. We are safe from the witch.
And what's the witch's name?
Everyone knows the witch's name.
Well, I don't. I'm not from there.
Should.
Well, what is her name, in case we find her here?
Cannot be spoken.
Can it be written?
Those things have power.
Ah, the power of a name.
Name, the markings of the name,
I understand.
bad.
What did she do to you?
Who?
this witch?
She did nothing to me.
So why is she so feared?
She broke the sky.
How did she break the sky?
Being a witch.
So just her existence broke the sky.
There were others. The kin fled. And we moved. This was before I was born. It was a long time before I was born. There's no physical witch like you or Slate in the village. We sent them to sea.
And they ended up on this island.
Well, that's, I think, what this dream is about.
Maybe you're here to get rid of the bad witch.
The bad witch was destroyed. That's what the stories say.
Is that when the world broke?
Sky broke and the fields were burning and many people died. It is dangerous to let them go unchecked. People die.
So, were you sent away on your dream because the world was breaking?
I wasn't sent away. I found myself in this dream. I don't know how. I went in the woods and now I am here.
Which woods?
The woods.
But which woods did you come out of here?
Oh no, I came out of a hole.
Where
There weren't. I don't know. That's how this dream started. And it was not in the woods. And it was in a very loud place. And then I came here. You ask a lot of questions.
Because I want to help you. I want to help you get back to spring.
That takes time. You should enjoy your dream.
If this truly is a dream, then it's one I wish to wake up from now.
You can try. I have thrown myself off of mountains. I have drowned myself in the ocean. I have been shot with arrows and fought beasts. I have been to war. And I carry all those scars from each and every one. Cannot just wake yourself. The dream goes on forever.
Is that what all the markings are on your body?
They are, I think, related.
So you're saying if I want to wake up from this dream, all I need to do is drown myself?
As I said, I have done all of these things. I have not woken up. It's just been a new dream. Well, enjoy what you can of it. Do my best. You enjoy this. Stop bumming me out, man.
While this has been happening on that note, a couple of things has happened. When when you see somebody smile, it becomes contagious. It spreads. So when Wesleyan was talking about being 9, etc., being really engrossed in what's happening, and letting everything happen to me, I absent-mindedly also change into the small boy that I can change into, and I'm watching him as a small boy, him talking about being 9, being a small boy. But what I'm also doing is I'm so engrossed in what's happened, I'm just absent-mindedly drinking the concoction as much as I can while he's talking, like getting really into it. So I want to finish whatever the mixture is, the whole lot of it.
Okay, you do. Yeah, you're just off your face, basically. Living your best life.
And then if that's the result, then the other thing I'm going to be doing is absent-mindedly listening to his story. Once the drink is done, I have nothing to do with my hands, so I just start fidgeting, and I'm going to start just drawing in the dirt and stuff while they're talking, because I'm a small child, so I'm just drawing in the dirt.
Okay.
But does the thing...
I'll come back to that in just one second, Renan.
Okay.
As you look into the dirt and you play as a small child, Slate, several things begin to happen. First, you hear a voice. Someone who calls out to you. Someone who sounds so fucking familiar. Elias, come along now. And you look up and you see bustling streets, buildings made of sand and stone. You look around through the crowd and you begin to follow the figure that's walking away from you. It's almost a silhouette, it's hard to make any details out, but as you run, a wall appears in front of you. And then behind you as you try to run away. You're in a room, enclosed, and you grip your own head. And as you look down and look back up, there's a doctor standing in front of you. Come on, Slate. Surely you can do more than this. The voice rings and echoes through your skull. You slap your hand down on the concrete, but dirt flies out of the way. It's a little bit strange. You stand up and you walk towards the door, and as you leave, you look down and your hands are that of someone in a uniform. You run. And you don't stop running, Slate. You hear several voices from behind you calling to you. Elias. Slate. They echo. And they reverb. You fall to your knees surrounded by 2 separate energies around you. One echoes a cold, dark place. The first memory. And the other side echoes the warmth. The light. But you have no idea what that is. For the rest of you, as you look at Slate, he changes from a small child to a grown version of himself, but much thinner, gaunt. And he slams down into the dirt, and as he gets up and begins to run, barely 15 feet before he falls to his knees, he turns into someone who looks like a security guard, a well-trained fucking security guard. Someone in incredible, like clothing and stuff like that as well, just like he looks armored, he looks ready to fight. And he falls to his knees and He takes a variety of different shapes until he eventually comes back to himself, none of them settling long enough for you to grab anything coherent from it. Like a lucid thought. At that point, Slate, you come back to your senses and to yourself.
I would say, having had that experience, that feeling, everything that was happening before, that absolute high that was coming of the vibe, the music, the drinking, the camaraderie, letting go, using my abilities, all of them, different things, magic, the whole lot, and really for the first time, just really letting go. A mixture of being, tired, exhausted, but also fed up of all the negative things that have happened. This was really unexpected. I wasn't on guard, and the crash and the come down would be immediate to that, and all the defenses would be up, and it would just be such a confusing place to be in my head, because the emotions would be so conflicting from the two happening semi-simultaneously. And I would say that my form would continue to possibly flicker, being all the different ones that you've seen before, the kind of thin, gaunt, scarred, machinist looking character, the older female lady that was seen pacing, the long-haired, smiling, kind of entertainer, the young boy, and then several others. I'd say it would just keep happening, and then I would say that I would probably, much like an athlete, having, run the pitch at full speed, by the time I went through all of that, I would just collapse into the dirt, heavy breathing, sweating, just really feeling the weight of all the different things that had happened physically and in my head, the visions, etc.
Okay. Yeah.
Two things, if I may.
Yep.
One, with the stuff that he drew into the ground, was there anything noticeable, anything coherent?
I would say that what's noticeable is, while again there's nothing specific, it seems random, the drawing is definitely as random as the other ones you've seen. So they're not a match, but they are a match. By that I mean they're as similar as you can get. They're not a particular pattern, but it looks like this is where the other drawings have come from. That he was in a state like this, and that is where they have come from.
And it's from this young boy. Okay.
Yeah.
Second question. When he was this armored security guy, did it have any CRU markings on it? Or any markings that I would understand?
Not CRU, no. Markings you understand. I would say roll a history check for me, but be forewarned that this history check is like an incredibly high CR. Yeah.
No. 14.
No, unfortunately not with a 14, no. With a 14, it looks like something that it's hard to make out. It has something to do with a flame, maybe a sword. It's kind of difficult for you to understand like what this setup is. But yeah, no, it's not something that you understand at this time, no.
Okay. So with that, and seeing how Wes is kind of, we say, living in the moment, but also kind of melancholy about the past, and obviously the way Slate has been, I'm assuming they're kind of sat in a triangle to each other almost, and obviously with Slate jumping up and stuff. So she'll grab Wes's arm and pull him up and walk him over to where Slate is, and she'll sit down behind Slate. You know how like you sit with your like on your butt, but with your legs like either side of someone, kind of around behind him, and she'll just one arm over, one arm under, pull him in, and as she does that, the wings will stretch out as well, and the right one will hook around Wes and pull him in as well.
Oh, that's nice. Nice. Okay.
And she just kind of sit there listening to the lake and kind of keeping them both safe and secure as much as she can.
Yeah. I don't think Westland is on a journey quite like this. But certainly, yeah, for Slate, I guess, Richard, if you want to tell me how he would feel about Amadriana's course here.
I'm going to explain that in an action. A lot of what's been happening has been absent-mindedly because I haven't actively, been thinking about what's happening. I've been letting go and going with what was happening, and having experienced what I've experienced and being as spent as I am from the week that was had, the emotions, the trial, all the different things, and then the journey that's just happened, including the drinking, what was foraged, and then the visions and all of that different stuff. I absent-mindedly, again, without thinking, it just happens. I'm going to say that I give bardic inspiration to Amadriana without meaning to. I just fall into the embrace and I just go with it. And it's kind of taken as it was meant, without thinking about it. It's a safe space. It's everything that I needed in that moment. As such.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's no problem. I think it's only like a little while, right? It's a few hours, is it, for bardic inspiration? But you have it if you...
10 minutes, yeah.
Was it like 10 minutes? I thought it was for a couple hours, sorry. So would you have it anyway for the moment anyway, if you need to? 10 minutes. If you need to check in the next few minutes for anything, it would come in handy. So, I mean, have a think. If there's anything that pops out to you as a check, it might be worth using it for.
I'd say more than anything, if there's like a physical feeling to this or like an emotional feeling to this, like a boost kind of thing, she'll see it more as a sign as that what she's doing is good. So she'll just pull it in that little bit tighter.
Okay, perfect, yeah.
And I would say, being as perceptive as you are and having not imbibed as the rest of us, in the space where I was lying flat, if you've lifted me up, you'd then be looking over my shoulder to where I was lying. There's a series of capital eyes drawn right beside where my face was.
Okay.
Weston gets up. Weston gets up off the ground. This has all been happening kind of slow motion. Like random hardcore questions coming from sober Madriana. This shit's going on. It's all a bit of a blur. Now Madriana's a bird. Like clearly tripping. We're definitely he stands up and he says, Now we're in the dream. It started. I mean, just look at you. Wow. He totters off for about 10 feet, 15 feet to look at the woods, look at the sky, look at the lake, and lets himself kind of sink into the experience for a bit. Just enjoying the knowledge, knowing that at this moment we are free of the other dream. We're deeper now. We're deeper. It's a new one. And we can have a breath.
I know Slate had said that he was imbibing in the rest of what was in that bowl, but can I have a check to see whether he actually did get to take all of it, or whether there's some left, or even if Wes had not put maybe all of it in the bowl as such? Because basically what she's thinking now is that she wants to do it because her aim wasn't not to get involved with them, as Wes had suggested and asked. It was the fact that she just wanted to make sure they were safe first.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think
Maybe it's just like lick the bowl or something, just to contact high.
yeah. I'd say that's okay. Yeah. I don't think it's I don't think there's anything really needed for a roll or anything like that. You just because you're not going full force in, right? Like you're not going as deep as Westland or Slate or whatever. So it's just a
Which
small.
would have been if there'd have been some left, but Slate decided to neck it. So
I would say that you'll get a buzz from it, if that makes sense. A
Yeah.
little experience like they're going through, but you're still more or less in control of your senses. Whereas Westland far less, and Slate obviously far less again, because he doubled his dose. So yeah, that's kind of where I'd be at on that. An argument can be made for something else, but I think that's probably suitable, right?
So yeah, so the ideal thing is that she's trying to calm Slate into at least one form, whichever form he chooses to be in, just to calm him down. Keep an eye on Wes as well, because he's wandering around the lake, doing his deep breath exercises or whatever he's doing. That's it.
I'd say the form changes would slow the longer that I was there, and eventually subconsciously resting on the first form that you ever saw, which is the kind of stickly pale, and I would just go back to that, and then it's just writing out whatever's left, and that's it.
Take some time, yeah. But what we'll do is, while you guys ride at that high, we will take a wee break on our side, because we've been going for quite a bit there. I will be talking to the guys. We'll get some set up now, and we'll move into the aftermath, as it will. And we will move forward in the week when we get back from the break. So for those of you on YouTube, of course, it'll just be do-do-do-do-do-do. But for those of you in chat, we're going to fight a boss. So we're going to get a prediction going to see how you guys get on, to see if you can defeat the boss before we get back. There's quite a few of you last time, so I'd say we do this on normal difficulty, and we see how we get back. Your prediction will go for 2 minutes, and the boss will open now. Ads will run as usual. Thank you guys so much for your support. We super appreciate it. And then you will get a normal difficulty boss with about 10 minutes to defeat it, I would say. We'll just round it off and say we'll be back at 10 past, so you have the 12-ish minutes to do it. That's probably fair, with the ads running as well. Good luck with the boss fight, and thank you guys so much for your participation. Chat has been hopping today. We super appreciate it. Thank you so much. And you guys have been kicking ass with your RP as well, so kudos to you guys as well. Back in 12-ish minutes.
Hell yeah.
Bye.
See you in a minute.
And we are back with a nice beat. We did not defeat the boss this time. My apologies, folks, but get more people in. Let's go. We got them the first time. We didn't get it the second time. Remember to combat. Remember to win. Get it going. Let me get this music out of here. So if any of you specifically want to, we can pick up where we left off, or later throughout the day. It's kind of up to you guys. Is there anything specific that you guys want to do?
Yes. Once all my washing and clean is done, I'm going to put everything back as it was, but it's all spick and span, smells really nice. It's a wonderful vibe inside the place now. Fresh air coming in. The bad feelings of the past are now replaced with good things for the future.
Then all the boys come in from the woods, tracking in all the mud, and
Slaps are thrown. Pick up those shoes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, with that in mind, you have the apartment, the place clean before anyone arrives. Is there anything else that you want to do while you're in solitude?
Make a nice cup of tea and sit down.
Nice. I'll say that Hatsu, after all of that with finding those people, speaking to them, kind of doing your thing, that you're coming in around the same time as Madriana, Westland, and Slate would be.
How? Because Slate's in his sickly, skinny form right now. How big is Westland as an adult?
As an adult?
Taller than
Or
Slate, for sure.
as you are now,
I mean, from the looks of him, he looks like he, was bigger when he was probably in his younger years. But at this stage, I'd say he's probably about 6'3". He's starting to kind of hunch a little bit, slouch, He's put on a little. Looks like he's put on some weight, lost some muscle.
You're just describing me. Roper, I want to try and attempt to carry them both and see if I can fly us back.
Oh no, not a chance. 2 full-grown adults. No, that's not happening. Same reason you couldn't carry Dash and.
Oh, that's fair. Actually, I forgot about that.
And Lissa, because they were like
yeah,
Lissa's more slender than either of the boys would be. Even though Dash is taller, he's quite lean, and they like.
You know when when someone's in a really bad way, let's say they're drunk or whatever, and you're trying to guide them, it's not that you're carrying them, but you're taking some of the weight, but really they're leaning on you and you're steering them more than their legs are holding them up, but they're just their balance is off. So would Adriana be able to assist if she was trying to fly, but she was at head height for both of us? She's holding us up and using the wings to balance out the weight. So we're stumbling or whatever, and she's sort of holding us as if walking beside us, the same thing, but from this height, and she's, you know, in a flying posture as opposed to walking. Would that help us not hit the ground or not fall over or, you know?
I want to say yes because it sounds awesome, but I realistically just think she can't muster that strength based on her specific stat block and everything. I just don't think it's possible for her to do it for the both of you. Technically, even though your shape changes, a lot of you stays the same. So even if you were to take the shape of it like a child or something,
Stats are the same, weights are the same, everything's the same.
So you're still you're like the heaviest child on the planet. You're still within that realm of just like. It's just too much for Madriana, unfortunately.
Yeah, perfect.
That's fair. I'll put the wings away, and I'm just leading them. Then I'm just gonna put a rope around each of them and lead them along like they're donkeys on the beach.
Slow your roll, madam. Slow your roll.
You need to go to bed.
It's like 2 in the afternoon.
One, I sleep here now. 2, I'm not your sheep to be drug. You are not my shepherd. Where are you going?
1, you're one of us now, which means you should stay with us.
No. One of you, but I'm not staying there. Not happening.
Then
1, 2, 3. Why are we all counting?
That's a good question.
You know what?
Numbers.
Make your own way. And she'll just start heading off.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll wave. Bye.
I think I'd have that conflicted moment where I want to do both. So I'm kind of like, I want to sit and stay because I'm fucked up, but also because Wesland is there and I want to, you know, continue on what we're doing. On the other hand, I also want to go Adriana. So in the end, I'm just going to walk somewhere between the two and just sit down because I'm wrecked.
Okay. Well, whichever of you wants to, you will get to go back to the room to Eos and presumably Hatsu.
So yeah, walk in and hello.
The apartment looks incredible, immaculate, sorted as well as the library has been for these past few weeks.
Did you go in my room?
No, I don't touch your rooms. You clean your own room.
I was just checking that you hadn't fallen for the trap. That's okay. I don't have to
There's a
reset
trap in
it.
your room?
I have to keep Dash out somehow.
Good idea. I was asking for one of those.
I could definitely set one up. I think she'll kind of retire back to her room. It's been a long day.
Makes sense, yeah. What about the rest of you? What are you doing?
I'm
I
gonna
think-
stay with Weslin just because it's in my vicinity. That's it.
Hatsu?
I'm with Trip.
Hatsu would prepare a formal report for his father with detailed explanations and with the emphasis in the last part on how the guy from the crisis response unit reacted, what he argued,
That makes sense.
and with an explanation that we should take a stance to show others what we are about, but not too offensive to make them kind of find weak spots in that regard, that we are already fighting the group. And we can't give them an edge by finding new allies. And in brackets, he puts there that Remington did advise us not to go too hard on it. And he asked for some bakery from his mother for Boreal, because he obviously explained the what happened to Boreal now. And that he might feel a little bit better if he tastes something from home.
And this is a letter you're composing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
And she also I don't know the word. Wait. He also praises Ayame for her good work,
Oh, okay.
and that she was always there to kind of get Boreal and him out if he wanted her to, and that she does an excellent job. And he also asks for his father's wisdom and how he should proceed further from that point on.
Okay. What I'll get you to do is to create a little bullet point thing. You don't have to write a full letter for me, but just create a little bullet point thing for me, and I will make sure that you just get an appropriate response for the points that you're making. That would be awesome. Given that it's a letter, I like to document the letters as well, because oftentimes things like that may come up later in the campaign as well, usually when things are documented and stuff. So, okay. So Hatsu is composing a letter, presumably in his room. Madriana's in her room. Westlin and Slate are in Westlin's room by the woods. And Eos, you're at home just relaxing with some tea.
Yeah, she's going to make a reply of the letter that she received, and I'll drop that in your DMs.
Thank you so much. Westlin and Slate, at some point during this process, you see Dash, for lack of a better term, dashing by you. He doesn't seem to notice. He's running down on the beach and he's heading far up to the corner of the island. He doesn't seem to take notice of you, and he's far too busy to notice, but for some reason he's running in slow motion just in shorts, and women are just watching him, and he's like got a lifeguard kind of lanyard on, and he's just running, and there's like power rock in the background. It's Baywatch.
What?
It's Baywatch. No. So he's just going for it. He's running up the beach, and you in your high states can probably actually see him in Baywatch form. Kian, if you're watching, I'll get on to you about what's going on there. As the day moseys on, what are the rest of you doing?
Is this same day or next day?
Same day. We're going to wind down and move along in the week shortly.
Okay. So, yeah, Madriana would just be preparing herself for the evening, probably have a shower, take off the mask, clean it thoroughly. Takes out the wings.
Mask. Like, the mask it's built for you. It's built for stealth. It's built to be quick and easy. It's not easy to take off, but you're so used to it at this point that you can just take it off with precision. It's completely fine. But the mask itself to you, it's just your mask. You're used to it. You clean it with respect and everything. But to anyone else who saw it, it would be almost a masterpiece in craftsmanship. It is very expensive and beautiful, and it was made for a Madriana. Like, there is no one else who can wield this mask like you can.
Yeah. It's truly form fitting to her face.
Yeah.
So yeah, she takes it off and cleans it. No doubt at this point there's a mixture of sand and bugs and Christ knows what else on it after being in the forest and stuff. Make sure to put it up on the little stand she has for it. And then she'll, after a shower, she'll wrap herself in her robe that she has with the holes for the wings.
Mm-hmm.
And just as she always does, she'll go and sit on her balcony with her back to the balcony slats with the wings outstretched so that the wind coming through the balcony goes through her wings and stuff.
Yeah, it's a nice, gentle kind of breeze or something similar that's going through the wings. Yeah.
Yeah. And she'll just sit there. The only addition to this scene now, I'm assuming we've all got one of those little plate things in our own room. The magical plates that give us what we want.
I don't see why not. Sure. Yeah. It's food.
Time
like
it's
it's
slightly...
not like a machine gun or something. But yeah, like
no, refreshments. Plate.
Yeah.
But the only difference this time when she does it is she's actually sitting there with a nice peppermint tea. She seems to have developed a little bit of a taste for it. She hated it at first, but now it's kind of grown on her a little bit.
I'm gonna go beyond that, and Madriana can choose to smile to this or not, but in my head she's smiling at the fact that this would definitely piss off her father. There's no way he's like anyone in his family is drinking peppermint fucking tea, I'll tell you that.
He'd probably kill me for that. Yeah.
I think there's a nice sort of moment in her head for that as well, yeah.
But yet somehow her mum would appreciate it.
I think so.
But that's all she's doing until she falls asleep on the balcony, as she always does.
Yeah. What about the rest of you as this day winds down?
Yeah, Elias would have summoned an exquisite, deserved dinner for all the work she did today. She's going to relax.
She's just there patting her own back, like.
Oh yeah, I did a great fucking job. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So once that's done, she's going to wash up. She's going to have a nice hot bath. Take it easy. Take out one of her favorite books, and is going to sit in her window seat and just let the trance take its place until the following day.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. The rest of you?
Wesley navigates his trip. Looks for patterns in the sky or patterns on the ground or patterns in Slate's changing form, patterns in his own. Goes for a swim. Drinks heartily from the beer. Until consciousness is no longer an option.
Yeah.
I'd say I'd do something similar, like the morning after the night before, although it's the same day. Feeling spent, etc., and earlier using Mage Hand, etc., because he was just, Slate was feeling lazy as hell. Same thing. I'm just gonna more or less stay where I am and just be present with Weslin, but more just a passive observer as I ride this out. And I'm there, I'm present, I'm aware of what's going on, but I think we just ride it out together. He goes for a swim, he does whatever, we both end up just passing out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just a nice thing. Are you passing out, sorry to confirm, are you passing that down with Westland in that kind of area, or are you passing out back in your room? Are you going back to the room specifically to
No,
present?
I'm where I am because I'm spent. I'm not going anywhere.
You're not going anywhere. You're staying with Westland's side. Okay. I like that. There's this kind of nice thing about that. Need more Slate Westland interactions and more conversations between them that don't get interrupted by assassins. Which is a very specific niche thing, but the fact that it's happened at all means it needs to be said. The night winds down. Somewhere out there, Boreal finds his peace and falls asleep. Ayami lurks over as Grimstone leaves the island on his ship. What he has done all day is a mystery to all but Ayami. Dash does not come home that evening. Just Adriana celebrating in the background. It is nice to feel calm, safe. It's nice to know serenity. And as the morning kicks in, for those of you in the apartment, or I call it the apartment, in the dorms, the morning is sort of somewhat interrupted, just slightly, by Remington coming in. He doesn't just walk, he's not like, hey everybody, like he knocks on the door, you guys open the door, he comes in. He looks around, so I think it's Adriana, Hatsu, and Eos. He takes a deep breath. He breathes. So, if it's all right, I'm sure you're all hungry. I won't keep you very long, but I would like to discuss everything that has happened in the last few nights. There are several topics to discuss, like things maybe you would like to see different around the school. Things that would be suggestions, perhaps, or criticisms. We are open to it all. Or things that you just need to get off your chest. Now, for Hatsu, this is already mandatory, but for those who may wish, there are counseling sessions available for you. Should you need to go and perhaps get some things off your chest. Now, he coughs a little bit, and as he does, a little pad rises up with a feather that's just floating and ready to take notes. Is there anything you wish to contribute, get off your chest, say in this moment?
So the corners of the tables, they're really sharp. It is a problem.
Oh, I thought there was a threat. It's like, okay.
If you're carrying a box or something, you walk past it and it grabs your hip, it hurts. So if you could round off the corners of the tables, that'd be fantastic.
Yes, of course. No problem. And they do. It becomes a roundish table.
Well, hobby. Do you want a cup of tea, Ram?
Yes. Peppermint would be lovely. Yes, please.
Perfect. Yes. Goes for about 10 minutes of preparing a bunch of tea for everyone.
In the meantime, the rest of you?
Not as a matter of for the school, I guess, but I'm wondering if it might not be better to have reassignments. It seems that everyone within this group are on their own. There's not really much for growth as a group.
What would you suggest, Amidriana?
Well, a few things would maybe sort things out. Maybe try and answer Weslin's problem about why he's in a dream. That seems to be the biggest focus for him at the moment. which is causing him to spend all of his time out in the forest.
Yes.
Dash is... Well, Dash is Dash, let's be honest. I don't know, I feel like recent events has fractured this group more than it has brought us together. And I, for one, I'm very capable of looking after myself. However, the idea of coming here was to learn how to hone my own skills as well as skills within a group.
Whilst I can speak to young Westland, and all of you, about as much advice as I can possibly throw at you, it's not always from your elders that you will find the answer to what you're looking for. I can give you my best advice based on my situations and the things that I was privy to growing up. And whilst, of course, I'm quite wise, it doesn't mean I'm the wisest one here. Now,
I was thinking more like team building exercises, but you know.
This we can do. This is part of your learning here. It is part of the encouraged education here, but it is also something that you will come across. But I can take you into a room and I can let you fall into each other's arms and you can discuss all of these wonderful things about yourself, but I don't know if that'll bring you together as much as something like this. Each of you must find your bearings first within yourself and then within the others. Right now, you are the first person who has said what this could do for others, and not just what you can do for yourself or what we can do for you. But you will not be the last. They will come and they will think the same as you do, but it takes time to get there. All this tells me is that this is not the first time you've seen a situation like this. You adapt quickly.
It's the first time I felt like I might have someone else to rely on and actually be able to rely on them. So far, for the most part, I've been proven wrong.
Well, I have personally witnessed the power of Eos, and I have seen the strength of Hatsu and his family. And whilst Westland needs to spend that time in the woods to find himself and to figure out his path, it's not always a path of loss in these situations, although it is always a path of stress, but the greatest bonds are forged in fire. Now, I don't think that these situations are good for you, and we would not have orchestrated them ourselves, but we did go through them, and we came through them together. We worked as a unit. I saw young Master Dash pulling Eos from the flames. That is not something that is done by a coward. That is someone who stepped up and did the right thing. And
You
Eos
mean like
will
I did with
undoubtedly...
those assassins?
Yes, although I do think there may have been more to learn before Master Hatsu dispatched them. But defending yourselves...
As he says that, she clicks, like, right.
But at the same time, we understand that self-defense is important, and it is something we teach here too. If we can take people alive, we try. But not every situation in life is going to be so easy.
I don't know, I guess I thought I'd left behind the life of working alone, that's all.
Well, perhaps this is because it's the first time you're in a situation where it feels like you can safely let that go. And if that is truly the case, then I think that this is a significant first and second step. Now we need to see how everybody reacts in the aftermath. And you can be a part of that and build the relationships that you want as well, not just wait for others to build it with you. This can be a part of your team building exercises, as you say.
I do have one personal question for you, if I may.
Sure.
What happened to Lissa?
I believe in everybody's right to privacy, but I will say this. She felt quite wronged. She took her personal space. And if everything goes the way that I imagine it would, I believe she will return. But like you, she thought she found people she could rely on. And when she felt that was taken away, and she felt not cared about, she re-evaluated her options. Now it's more in depth and specific than that. But that's life. We are all each on our journey and must make our own decisions. Whilst I would not like to see her go, I'm not also able to stand in her way.
But it was of her volition.
It was of her volition.
That's good enough for me. As for these, this consortium, I guess we'll have to see how the training goes.
Of course.
Well,
Oh my god.
if I may add something. And he looks towards Amedriana. And he says, there was once a very wise woman. Her name was Sakura. And she was asked by a villager what to do when he feels lonely. And what she said was, stop acting like you're alone. And even if it doesn't look like nobody cares about you, I do care. And I set heavy burdens on my shoulders to keep the people around me away from trouble if I can. But you also have to understand, sometimes the things that might look bad for you are actually there to protect, but you only realize later. That's why we shouldn't go too hard on our first impressions, but also meditate on it. And he turns towards Remington and he says, I have one more request regarding security. I think in these days it's not a good idea to have the front doors, the side doors, and the unknown doors without guards. I think my father would be happy to send more guards if you wish so.
Oddly enough, you're not the first person to say that to me. Your brother said almost those exact same words. Yeah, this is something we've evaluated and we need to consider. We like the freedom so that students do not feel policed as such. But I think that those days might be swiftly passing. We will evaluate what is best and we will bring in the best for this situation, for this place. But this is definitely advice we are taking under our
May I suggest one thing? What if they would be introduced like we were introduced to the other teachers, so the students would get a better feeling about them and would feel more comfortable around people like me?
Well, given that this is a magical school, it might be a little bit easier than that. We have a old friend of the school whose abilities... Well, let's just say he can clone himself when it's necessary. Instead of hiring multiple gods, it might be a case where we can just bring in one who is trusted, a single point, a teacher who can operate from here, but may also be able to provide a lot more insight into any potential threats and areas of weakness. But what I would ask of you in return, should you be, of course, staying, is if you spot any points of weakness or anything that may be exploited, bring it to us. Your eyes are built for this far better than ours.
There is another suggestion.
Yes?
If you really truly wish to work on this, why not make some of the students the police of here?
That was like totally out of character, but I saw Richard like just jump for that. Hell yeah. Yes.
It's not a prison if everyone's a guard.
I don't think I can force it, but I could ask. Presumably more of the third years up who have more experience with these halls.
But I mean, let's be honest, the fifth years seem to be pretty useless.
The fifth years...
They have exams and stuff, I'm sure. They're very busy.
You will see when you get there. It's a little bit more complicated than exams. Spoilers.
Either way, with your man,
I'll take note of this. Yes. Right. I say that while the DM actually takes note of this.
Just so you're aware, that was a note that Slate had actually came up with, and I'm sure he has a few others as well. He would gladly run by you.
I really wish you were like, yep, that was entirely my idea. Any credit for that should definitely go to me, and like just take full credit for that. Yes.
But she's already seen Hatsu do that now.
Okay.
So she doesn't want to do that.
Okay. I will be speaking to young Master Slate anyway, but yes, we can do that.
I think he's probably butt naked out in the woods right now, so you might want to give him a day.
Yeah, so well, I've been there, done that.
I didn't, because he took it all.
Rem, before you leave, may I have a moment with you privately?
Of course. Is there anything else that you two would like to add before I speak to young Miss Yosia?
I think I'm done. I'll head down to the banquet hall to leave them to talk.
Hatsu kind of bows down a little bit and leaves to his room.
Might request the headphones be removed.
Sure.
No. Actually, just for any of our new watchers, when we do headphones off, please don't say in chat any spoilers. It's between the DM and the player.
So yeah, so keep it vague if you're talking about it in chat, just so that anyone who's reading, who might be reading it, because the guys do talk in chat and they sass around. So just to make sure that they don't get anything spoiled for them as well. Thank you so much.
Awesome. They're off.
Headphones off, yeah. Young Missios, it appears your allies have taken the headphones off. What can I do for you?
It comes to mind that some information regarding the moons, what happened to Boreal, while may not be perfectly accessible within our library here, as you know, as you saw, within the undercroft of my home, some information may lie. And if I do get the opportunity to go home sometime, or you're passing by, what would you like me to do?
Young Messieurs, if you ever find anything like that, please let us know. But do you recall that day that I was there to stop what could have been a devastation?
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall what you said that day?
3 specific letters. That was a word that was foreign to me, but I felt it inside my soul.
In the passing moments, Eos, you didn't just say those 3 letters. You said a very familiar sentence, one that echoes in my mind, especially today. When you went to fire in rage, you shouted a drop of ichor, a pinch of blood. With my blessing, do what you never could. Now, I do not wish to out you in front of your compatriots or your allies, but I would ask that going through everything with Boreal is not just on him. We're not going to expel you from the school. You have done nothing wrong. But we would like to run anything past you as well that may be related to this, because that is a very specific incident to occur with 2 people who had not met yet.
I'll do anything I can to aid this. If you want my assistance, if you want my insight, permission to go to the Undercraft, it shall be. And don't hear me greedy, but I would love to harness that power yet again.
Yes, well, we will do our best, but only if you can control it, Eos. I do
Your
not want
guidance
you
with the school.
Yes,
Possible.
I hope so. I fear this is not going to be a short journey. This will take time. This is not something new, but this is something we have not yet had the chance to explore. Not as closely as this. Just stay safe and please be careful. On a personal level, I very much so care about you, Eos. And on an academic level, we really appreciate that you are here.
I appreciate everything you've done for me. This is a place that I feel safe, and I do want to venture into a strange new world and see what's out there.
Yes. Just be careful. Not everybody is as welcoming to your kind or my kind as we have been. And I would
I know.
hate to see something happen to them, because we both know if it's you or them, it's not you.
Absolutely. It's everyone.
It's everyone. Right. I will go into the woods looking for Westland and young Master Slate, as they are apparently naked, and that seems like a school problem.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else you
Thank you.
require?
My gratitude. Thank you so much.
You require your own gratitude? Then I hope you find it. He places his hand on his shoulder, knowing that it's just a play, like he's just playing.
Perfect. Should we tell the others?
Yeah.
The Dash is dead, lads.
Yeah, I can't believe it. She just
Ugh.
blew him up. She just blew up Dash. I don't know if Ryan knows. Oh, he's getting his headphones. Got it. So with that, Remington makes his way out, looking for 2 naked men in the woods. But he heads out into the tree area, where I'm sure he finds Slate and Westland wide awake and chipper as can be, no hangover whatsoever. Gentlemen, I was told you might be out here. Are we all right?
As we'll very slowly, the most old man, like dad groan you can possibly make, gets to his feet, clears his throat, it's Remington up and down. Hi.
Yes. Hello, Westland. I was going to call you young master, but I don't know if that's appropriate anymore.
I think all names are good at this point.
May I ask you a question, Weston? As I reach behind this tree. It has been brought to my attention, not just by members of the school, but members of the faculty as well. You are having... I'm trying to find a good way to say it. You are trying to find your balance between dream and reality. Is that fair to say?
I look for a way out. Path has led me here. So I am here now.
Right. Is there anything that we can provide to you or give to you to help you on this journey?
Do you have the ones here who can hear a dream and say what it means?
Well, so there are two ways to look at this, Westlin. One is that, of course, you can consider that all things around you are a dream. And in that way, yes, of course, but in that way, only your mind can decipher what you see. This is the confines of your mind, and if that's truly where you're at, then that's where you're at. To help you through this would be possibly someone who can speak to you and help you understand what it is you're seeing on a more mental level, through cognition. If you're talking about dreams, as dream walking would be, Mildred, our nurse, is, in your tongue, she would be known as a Kalashta. She can move among dreams, but they need to be coherent, real dreams, not a blend of reality and dream. Do you understand the difference?
No. What if this was not my dream? This here right now.
Let me tell you a secret about dreams. Dreams are a construct, a reality decided by your sleeping brain or the sleeping brain of another. It's not uncommon, not unheard of, that you can go inside someone else's dream. This is true. There are magical arts you can learn to do this. There are people who are born that can do this. This is certainly a thing. And you could potentially be one of those people. But in dreams, there are certain things that you cannot accomplish, not with ease. For example, the ability to read is very unheard of in dreams. Coherency is very unheard of. Going to sleep and waking up is very unheard of in a dream. I'm not saying that all of it is impossible, but for all of these things to simultaneously occur within every dream that you have is possibly would lean to suggest that it's not a dream you're experiencing, but something else. Something like a dream, perhaps.
What do you mean by read? What is that?
He looks up towards the clouds and he raises his hand and he forms letters in the sky, but in a language that you recognize. To others, it would look like gibberish, except for Amadriana, who, if she looks out the window at that time, would see letters as well that just simply spell out Westland's name.
Not sure how Wes will respond to that.
Magiana just looks at it and like, the witch is back.
The witch.
Oh my god, he was right about the fucking witches. She just like gets her sword and she runs out.
She's gonna fucking destroy our guy. Shit.
Oh my god.
She's calling him out.
Wait, he's back at the Autobahn.
Yeah.
Yeah, Autobahn.
Autobahn.
Yeah, it's where I'm from. So you can draw me in the sky.
The fact that you can see that Westland would make me think that this is not exclusively a dream. Perhaps something more. Tell me, Westland, why is it that you actually think that this is a dream? What is it that screams dream to you?
There is no other way to say it. There is no other way to know what it is.
What is your most favorite thing? What would you think about the most, Westland?
In his hangover, he's caught a bit off guard. Food. The times when there was song and dance. The times when the kin would form a circle and be as one. In those quiet times of peace, where no blood fell on the ground. These days, that is what I think of.
If dreams are truly the canvas of the mind, Westland, where reality is painted and defined by our deepest desires and even our deepest fears sometimes, wouldn't those be the things that your brain focuses on the most?
No.
Whose dream do you think you're in?
Don't know. I went in the woods, and I don't think I left the woods. I think I may still be there.
Well, dreams are a safe place for our minds to wander, a haven, to test things that we couldn't normally do within reality that also don't have real-world repercussions. Given the events of this week, Westland, do you really feel that there are no repercussions for what is happening here?
Each dream has had each dream has had a mark. Some good, some bad. Where is more of this read?
Never underestimate the power of a dream, Westland, okay? It can inspire, it can heal, it can guide. But it's reality where you manifest that power, where you must take the dream and make it real. And that impacts not just you, but those around you. So I would like you to keep an open mind, and I would like you to find young Miss Eos. I would like you to join her in the library, and I would like you to get her assistance in researching It's a process, it's incredibly rare, but it's called reincarnation. I would like you to look this up, and I would like you to investigate this, as I think this may not be the answer you're looking for, but it may give clarity into what you seek.
Eos has a nose for a witch. Or a witch for a nose, she says.
Eos will fight for you like you're her own flesh and blood. She would do nothing to hurt you, and everything to defend you. I would.
There is no need to fight. No need to fight.
I agree.
Eos is where the reed is.
Eos comes from a place very close to where you come from. She understands your customs and traditions closer than most others would. I believe she would be the right guide for this situation. You may bring others if you need translations or if you need assistance, but I believe that she has the information, or can at least lead you to the information that you are searching for, Weston.
Weston doesn't look like he fully understands, but just kind of nods. Looks over at Slate.
He's been listening to gibberish for like 10 minutes, unless he cast it again, of course. Like the 10 minutes are up, they talk for 10 minutes, you're casting it, it's just finished, and they switch to common, and you're like, fuck!
I was speaking in common on behalf of Slate.
I would have spent my time waking up, stretching, sort of coming back to reality slowly, and then would have tried to unpack a few things in my bag, because in the kind of course session that we had, I made loads of scribblings and I handed them out to the guys, saying my suggestions for security, among them us taking a bigger role, additional training, extra responsibility. Looked into something like prefects or some hall monitors type of stuff, and suggested that the school would handpick a number of people from each year to take those roles, and then they could do shifts, and teachers in their off time taking more responsibility, etc. But I would have had copies in my bag, and what would have started as a slow, methodical thing would have just gone to the frustrated, hungover, just empties the whole bag out on the ground, and then you guys would be finishing the conversation, and he would just have one of the scribbled copies of that, and I just hand it to Remington.
Yeah.
Because it's the first time I've seen him since.
He takes a look down and he's like, oh, goodness. You are certainly the most prepared of everybody I spoke to. Is there anything here you'd like to discuss, or is this your final suggestions?
I mean, when do we start? What are the parameters?
I will speak to everyone and get everybody's suggestion, and we will do as much as we can as quickly as possible. And some of them, unfortunately, may take a little longer to implement than that. It really depends on the scope of what is being asked of us. But we will do our best to implement these as quickly as possible, and in the meantime, we would ask everyone else to be as vigilant as possible to make sure that nothing else has gone wrong. See something, say something.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's what I'm suggesting here. I'm suggesting that we help each other out. Two heads are better than one, more eyes and all the rest of it. So early detection, etc. That's what I'm suggesting. I mean, based on the early detection and intervention of our particular group, things worked out well. So I'm just suggesting that you hand pick a number of people throughout the school. And for numbers' sake, I suggest you take several people from each year, meaning that all their schedules will be different, which means you'll have people available at all times. Whereas if you only take from the fifth years or teachers or people that you deem more experienced, your rostering and your talent pool go down. So while you may see some of us as inexperienced, we can still do early detection, reporting, and support. And with training and guidance, we can get to where you want us to be. But without the opportunity, you lose an awful lot. The school do, we all do. So as far as I'm concerned, like I said, when do we start?
It is possible that we can line it up so that you travel with a fifth year or someone who has more experience with these halls, with this building, with its rules. we would probably need to host some sort of informal test to make sure that people are ready for such responsibilities, and it would not be mandatory. My fear is that somebody gets hurt, and I would have more faith in the people that I've known longer, if I'm honest with you. It's not to dismiss your skills, or anybody else's, for that matter, but first and second years are a little bit squishier than those who may have been here a little bit longer.
I'd argue we're also, while not here that long, we're a slightly more trusted or maybe tested commodity after recent events. But also, and I will turn into Dash and say, my mother was a hall monitor.
Okay. Yes. Well, I will take this on board. Better Dash.
And
there is...
then I'm going to change into Remington and say, even a visual deterrent from a distance could be useful.
Of course. No, you are absolutely correct. Perhaps I'm being overly cautious, Slate. What I will do is I will discuss it with the faculty. I will have to bring my reports back. And this will take a few days to collate and get things together and get things moving and call out to the people that I need to call out to. This takes priority. The school's safety takes priority. But we do agree that something needs to change, and I do agree with you that perhaps there's no reason that I can't use a skill set from those who maybe don't have as much experience but may still serve some value. Yes. Thank you, Slate. I will take all of these and I'll put them with my notes, and he tossles them in. I will go over everything with the faculty, and yes, I will come back to everybody on this in a meeting towards the end of this week or beginning of next. Thank you, Slate, and Westlin, of course, thank you as well. I do recommend, as I said, talk to Eos. She will help you. She is on her own journey, and I feel like she has wisdom in situations beyond just what's in front of us. She will guide you.
She knows where the read is for the Reek carnal base.
She knows, yes, where everything is. And if you need assistance with translating for Eos, I would say young Miss Madriana might be a good starting point for that. To help you make sure that everything is understood correctly. Yes.
Nods.
Right. On to the next. Thank you so much for your insight, gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your day. And he walks off and he goes back towards the school. Yeah.
As he goes, I just want to gesture to any of the beer and say, do you want one? Before he goes.
Oh no, as I've aged, I've struggled to maintain the brain cells that I have. I think that alcohol would do more harm than good, I'm afraid. Thank you very much, though.
Could we have some sent to our room, or my room specifically,
Yes.
from the stock that you have, not from the runes or whatever, if that's all right?
Yes, of course. Food and supplies are generally a little harder to come by, but we will do what you can for you, Slate, to accommodate, of course.
And then I, for the first time, turn into a hastily, badly done version of Hatsu and do a really clumsy bow.
Okay, you like tumble over. Perfect. Excellent, no problem. As we reach a point closing towards the end of this session, we'll be moving on next week into like we'll be moving past this point basically and figuring out what the outcome is of everything that you guys said and all that was suggested by various members of staff, faculty, students, so on, and the determined results of if most some students stay, and so on. With that in mind, is there anything that any of you would like to do before we close out our session today?
Yeah, Eos is going to head on to the library. She's kind of curious. She wants to find just kind of a general geography. She's looking for like a map or something. She's curious how far away she is from home.
Yeah, there is a map, sort of. I will go through that with you now in just a moment. I would have to load it up, so I'll do that. It's just a separate thing in Foundry, but it is there. And I'm just
going around the
myself some
library
orders.
going, where would that be?
Yeah, no worries. Excellent. So, with that in mind, anyone else want to do anything? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, when and if Slate gets back to the room, that day, Amagiana will sit down with him. It doesn't necessarily have to be like without anyone else around, but she's gonna say it quiet enough, and just say to him, "So who's the security guard?" If you don't want to tell me, that's fine. But it didn't seem like it was the best version of you.
I'm gonna say that it's clear that I'm very thrown by the comment. Probably look a little confused or conflicted. And I start to get this like when you feel you have like a heat rash and you start to get like nervous, you start,
yeah,
that kind of a thing. And then I start grabbing my wrist, and not like grab my left arm, have a heart attack type of thing, but just like fidgeting with
the
my
extreme
wrist.
version, yes.
yeah, that hasn't happened yet. Yeah.
Listen, it's obvious I've made you uncomfortable, and I apologize. I'm just letting you know that should you want to discuss things, I'll accept it, and it won't ever go past me. You never know. One day you might learn a thing or two about me too.
I was just gonna say, I think that's a tale for another day, and perhaps maybe we have a tale to tell each other, and maybe that's the way that conversation will go down.
Okay. Oh, and if Westlin happens to ask you, no, I don't have wings. He's in a dream, it doesn't matter, right?
On that note, I don't want to get into it, but thank you.
Or? Mate, you said you didn't want to get into it. That's fine. I'll accept it for whatever it was. I mean, I am pretty awesome. She'll stand up and kind of walk away.
I will automatically attempt to trip her.
All right.
Oh, okay.
How do you guys want to play? We grapple rules, or do you want to just make sort of like a sleight of hand versus her passive?
Yeah, might be
Let
to do
him
that.
try and trip me. Yeah, let him do whatever the check is.
Okay, sleight of hand versus your passive then.
Oh, shit.
That 20
Nat 20.
for a 21.
And now I kind of wish I'd have said what I was going to say now, which was that even if she notices what he's doing, she's going to make it seem like he did succeed, and she was going to fall onto his lap.
Oh, no. Oh my.
Interesting.
I'll give you that on the nat 20, but I'm going to say you didn't notice, so it catches you off guard, because I think that's deserved for the nat 20.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So nat 20, what was it? Sorry, for a nat 20 for a total of 21. So he sticks his foot out, and in a very rare moment of letting your guard down, he catches you off guard in the most playful way. You slip back and you fall onto his lap, which I think was unexpected by both of you in that moment.
Definitely.
And luckily, I have my mask on.
Just never makes eye contact with Slate again.
Let's agree you don't do that to me again, shall we? I'm still quite not sure how you did it, but okay. And she stands up and watches her feet as she walks away to make sure she doesn't get tripped again.
Catching him Adrian off guard. That'll go down in the history books for you, Slate. It's not something that'll happen very often.
That's yeah.
Our passive
was
is
good.
incredibly fucking high.
I mean, I thought I was going to get slapped when we had that duel on the beach, so, you know, you just got to go for these moments.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Good and proper.
Last moments, closing thoughts. Is there anything else you guys want to contribute or attribute? Very well.
I think that's everything. Yeah.
So what I'm going to do then is, before we go on our break and switch to the Beyond the Isle section, I'm going to explain how the map works in this campaign, because it's a little bit different, folks. It's not your typical map system. Now, the way it works is that from a video game background, that's my kind of lineage. That's where I come from. So I created a very detailed and intricate map that took me months to compile and to build, and I built the lore of each world, so of each place, location, I mean, in the world. And with that in mind, I built each island to inhabit something personal and each location to be something different. And because of that, I don't want to spoil it all in one click. So I'm using video game logic of Fog of World. So I'm going to ask the players not to necessarily look at the stream here, although that might be difficult for Kian, who's in chat at the moment.
Close your eyes, Kian.
But what'll happen here is you will see the map when Eos brings it in and lays it in front of you, and it'll show you where you come from. But it will not necessarily show you where the other people come from. At least that's how it should work. But on the stream, it will show where each of them comes from, and there will be a bit of a reveal in that sense. How it will work in future is, for example, should Eos want to say, oh, this is where I'm from, I'm going to reveal the location of the town name, but you won't see the town on the map as a player. Not until you go there. And as you guys travel and go together, you will learn locations and see things. The only thing I'm not 100% sure if you'll see right now is the Crescent Pearl, although I hope that you do, but if not, I will update that during the week. Because I just noticed there on the stream view that it wasn't showing that, so I think that it's possible that you guys don't see that just yet. So if that's the case, I'll fix that during the week. But since this is the first time that you have come up to the map, I just wanted to preface that and say, first of all, players, yeah, don't look at the stream if that's okay. And second of all, if you see anything other than one circle, please let me know so that I can take a look at that.
we can see it in Foundry, right?
It'll be Foundry, yeah.
Our personal
yes.
map, and I guess, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So that should be loading for you now. Harley, that's quite all right, thank you. So in here,
Wow. It's so weird to see the map like that.
so this is a map, but as you can see for the people on stream, what you can see is that the world itself is laid out a little bit. There's the 4 islands and stuff. You can see bigger and smaller spaces and stuff like that. That is all part of the environment, but the players themselves should theoretically only be able to see specific locations. So the specific one location that each of them is from. Am I correct in that, players?
Yeah, I can only see
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
Yep.
see
area where
Yeah.
Eos is from. Yeah.
Because I don't see the Crescent Pearl on this, it occurs to me, rather, I realized that I probably did not reveal that, so I will do that for you guys next week as I bring in just one token for you guys for the reveals that you will then follow. So for the moment, you should theoretically only see one space. For context on what each of these places is, I will leave that for the players to reveal about their own characters. But for those of you watching the stream, you are getting a bigger taste of the map. And I appreciate your privacy to not necessarily just post that somewhere public in the Discord or something like that, because that is something for the players to learn about themselves and for you guys to learn as part of this journey as well. All of the map is labeled, but the labels are transparent, so I will reveal them as they come through. But what I will unveil for you now is the names of the 4 islands, because I'm not sure that we've done that yet as a stream. We've talked kind of about it, but not necessarily completely, I believe.
I don't think we have, no. And like we would know the names of these places, at least the islands, right? Yeah.
So this is Volcanus down in the bottom left, as the music comes to an end for some reason. This up in the top left here, this is Herbs or Urbis, you can choose. This over here is Desolata. And
that's a lot of land.
That's a lot of land, thank you. And the bottom right-hand corner is Arboris. So you've heard these names before, and you've had this broken down for you before, but this is now a proper look at this. For anyone in the podcast, I do apologize. This is probably not as engaging as people who can see it. But for the moment, this is the best way that I can do it. But how it works is there's 4 islands. They're all split. What's it called, an archipelago or something like that, I think it is. They're all split like that, and there's a river running between the 4 islands. There are smaller islands within the confines of that, one of which we are on. But we have, and the top left then in the island is Herbs, which is a gray, dark gray on the map. Top right is Desolata, which is a sandy color. Bottom right is Arboris, which is a green color. And the bottom left is a light gray color like snow, and it's called Volcanus. With that in mind, the players will learn these things as they go a bit more as well,
Can you ping where the crescent is? Because we can see your ping, right? Oh, okay, you've unlocked.
There you go. I've unlocked the name. So the crescent pearl is over there. Now I will unlock that on the map for you, but I'd be afraid to do that on stream in case I just completely exploded.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like I place something down and it just unlocks the whole map. That would be my luck. So but with that in mind, that is your map. That is where you are, and as you journey and adventure across these wandering isles, you will be unlocking the map itself and all of the sort of secrets that lie within. And there are many secrets. It may look small, but there's a lot of places to uncover, a lot of things, and I'm really excited for this journey.
Thank you for that. You just wanted that for reasons earlier.
Absolutely. Going back to the splash screen for just a moment, you will now also unlock the... Nope, will it let me? It won't let me. That's wonderful. You will in a moment unlock the button, there we go, for maps. And you will be able to take yourself into that map whenever you wish. And that is how it'll work. For a little while, just during this week while I set everything up, there is a potential that you may not be able to necessarily see the map while I'm setting up the new icon on the Crescent Pearl. That is just because there are invisible icons on the map that I need to remove so that you guys don't just like walk around or whatever, right? But that is your map for the moment. We will go back to it then when over time as you guys figure it all out.
Awesome.
So, well done, guys. We're only 11 sessions in. We learned about the map. That's pretty cool. In terms of the college, because it was asked there in chat, I will be disclosing that a little bit more probably next week. It is there on the map, but I need to unlock it, and I'm not sure how to do that without suddenly unlocking the whole map, because I was meant to have a little token prepared that I don't see here, so that has a wee bit of vision. So just in case anything goes wrong, I need to do that so that I can then move it around as we're going without accidentally disclosing or undisclosing the whole map, I should say.
The other thing you can do is obviously when we finish is, if you don't want to wait till next week, is you could take a look at the VOD and just like skip ahead to that bit and you'd be able to see where the writing was for the Crescent Pearl.
No, I have it anyway. I have the writing. It's still like, for me, I don't see the cover that you guys see on my screen. I have the whole unlock map with every bit of text and everything, so I know exactly where it is.
I mean for the VOD, like they'll be able to go skip ahead and they'll be able to see
Oh,
where the
sorry,
crescent
for the
bell
chat.
writing
Sorry,
is.
absolutely. And
Yes.
this won't be the last time you come across the map as well. And for those of you who are listening to the audio podcast, I will probably be trying to upload some sort of version of this. I'm not necessarily sure how to do that without possibly doing it week by week, but I will do something if I can. If not, then possibly just if you can go to the YouTube video, and it'll be the same timestamp, because all you guys get cut out on audio podcast is just the intro animation, and that's it. So it's roughly the same timestamp. You should get the information. So I
We could
apologize
also
for the inconvenience.
share it on Discord and maybe what's been discovered so far on the website or something like that. At some
Yeah,
point.
we'll try and figure out a clean way to do that without spoiling anything for people who maybe
Yeah,
are catching
down the
up
road.
on this down the road and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But for now, we're going to take a wee break. I'd say about 5 minutes, and then we will come back for our Beyond the Isles. So for those of you listening to the podcast and watching this on YouTube, this is our farewell. So say goodbye, guys, to those folks that are watching online.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, guys.
Bye. Please come back.
And for those of you on Twitch, we're just going to take a slight break. 5 minutes. We will come back. We won't do a boss fight because 5 minutes isn't enough. But we will come back to you then, and we will have our discussion, the post-show. So cool. BRB, thank you so much. See you in 5.
In a minute.